Chapter 2403. Honey, are we being too extravagant? Huomin's voice was slightly shaky as she turned her head and pressed her cheek against Qin Shu's handsome side profile. Honey, we're already being very low-key. Qin Shu whispered in her ear. Indeed, for a CEO with a net worth of hundreds of billions of yuan to give his beloved wife a sea of roses on Valentine's Day, he was already being very low-key. Every year on Valentine's Day, there would be news that would make the headlines. For example, a rich man gave a million-yuan sports car to chase after a female lead. For example, a rich woman chased after a male idol and booked all the advertising spots in the city to show her love. For example, a rich man chased after a female straight, a student who came back from abroad with a high degree. He even used a helicopter and threw money at her. Tens of thousands of people fought over her, compared to those people who liked to play to the gallery. Qin Shu's approach was indeed much more low-key. Most importantly, it was his style. It's so beautiful here. It feels like a fairy tale. Huomin felt like she was dreaming as she looked at the sea of roses in front of her. Honey, I'm sorry that I missed Valentine's Day for 4 years. But from now on, I won't miss it again. Qin Shu thought about how he was recovering in the States and felt very guilty towards Huomin. Hey, let's not talk about the past. You have your reasons, and you don't want to be separated from me. I don't blame you. Just cherish what you have now. I'm very easy to satisfy, really. I don't want anything else in this life. I just want to be with you and the twins as they grow up. If there's a chance, I also want to be reunited with Yan and Dad. My life will be complete. Huomin made a beautiful wish. I will. Don't worry. I will make all of your wishes come true. Qin Shu hugged Huomin tightly as he thought about the wish he made when he was young. His biggest wish in life was to help Huomin fulfill her wishes. Whether she wanted to be a doctor or find her family, he would do everything for her. The two of them sat at a long dining table by the cliff of the glass room. Qin Shu ordered the servants to prepare steak and red wine. The atmosphere was very good. Huomin hadn't drunk in a long time, so she was especially excited today. She took the initiative to pour herself a cup. Honey, I'm happy today. Can I drink a little more? Huomin stuck out her tongue and asked Qin Shu's permission. Sure. Wow. This is great. I haven't been in such a good mood in a long time. So drinking really depends on your mood. I want to be a drunkard today, and then you can carry me home. Ha. Okay. Qin Shu looked at the childish Huomin gently, and his heart was filled with warmth. Huomin, who had always been low-key, took out her phone and started taking selfies. She took a romantic picture of a sea of flowers and another one of her making a peace sign with her mouth in Qin Shu's arms. A faint smile appeared on Qin Shu's face, and his eyes were filled with a rare happiness. Then, Huomin posted the pictures before dinner. Qin Shu, who never liked to post on his WeChat moments, also used Huomin's pictures and posted them on his WeChat moments. Huomin wrote in her WeChat moments, "Today I have a sea of flowers." Then, her WeChat moments exploded with comments one after another. Chapter 2404. Zhu Lingling. What the fuck? What did I just see? Are those roses? They're blinding my 24K aluminum eyes. Jiang Xiaowei. No wonder we couldn't get any roses. President Qin bought all of them. He's so rich. Wei Liao. You two are so lovey-dovey. Even a married man like me can't stand it. Gao Ran. People who don't show off their love are the scariest. Because when they do, it's their ultimate move. They're going to destroy us anytime. Zhixin. Sis, those are roses. No wonder I couldn't get any. Can you sell me 99 roses? I'm waiting online. And I Yang. Me too. CC. Wow, it's a sea of flowers. Mian, I have to criticize you. How can you take pictures of such a beautiful scene? Pouting and acting cute is outdated. Bella, President Qin is so cool. Yang, you can tell when the boss makes a move. Boss, you're the boss after all. You're so cool. Little Bean, wow, what did I just see? Daddy and Mommy not only snuck out to have some alone time, but they're also playing the romance of the century. I bet 10 packs of Oreos that our little brother or sister is about to show up. Pudding, I give full marks to Daddy for this surprise. It's amazing. He's so arrogant. Other than Mommy, No other woman can get roses tonight. Then jade agate, beeswax, clam, Buddhist beads, jade bracelets. Then Hwamian listed all the precious jewelry she had, however. Mr. Chin still shook his head. Huh? None of them. Then is it food? Hwamin asked. Honey, if you can ask this question, it means that your IQ is not as good as it used to be. Chin Chu said in all seriousness. Ha! Hwamin couldn't help but laugh. Don't give up. Keep guessing. Chin Chu continued to encourage her. It's really too hard. Let me think. Is it antique? Is it something you were so busy buying at the auction? Hwamin's imagination went wild and expanded the scope of the question. None of them. This is something you really like. I promise that you'll be very happy when you see it. Chin Chu purposely acted mysterious, making Hwamin's heart itch. Honey, please tell me. I really want to know. Hwamin finally begged for mercy. Chapter 2405. You can open it and see for yourself. Mr. Chin pushed the delicate little box in front of Hwamin. The truth was, no matter how expensive Chin Chu's gift was, Hwamin wouldn't be surprised anymore. With the couple's current net worth, they could afford any kind of pearls and diamonds. Their love for each other couldn't be measured by money. The more expensive something was, the better. Hwamin knew Chin Chu well. To make up for his absence from Valentine's Day for the past 4 years, Chin Chu prepared a huge surprise for her. He bought out all the roses so that no one else could buy them. Not only that, he also prepared a mysterious gift. Therefore, Hwamin had great expectations for this gift. She really wanted to know what Mr. Chin prepared for her. Can I? Hwamin was pleasantly surprised. Of course you can. Only you have the right to open it. Don't control yourself, just open it. Chin Chu smiled at Hwamin. Hwamin excitedly took the box, took a deep breath, and slowly opened it. The moment she saw what it was, Hwamin froze. Then, tears began to roll down her cheeks, and her tears turned into pearls. Honey, how can this be? How can this be? Hwamin was so excited that she couldn't speak properly. Do you like it? Chin Chu calmly looked at his wife's surprised face. Yes. Hwamin didn't know what to say, so she nodded furiously. It turned out that this wasn't jewelry, pearls, or diamonds. It was just a pair of ordinary hairpins. Girls used them to decorate their hair. They were made of ordinary iron, and they looked exactly the same when placed side by side. They were long, and each one had 6 small red roses on it. The craftsmanship was exquisite. The color was incomparable, but why did these ordinary-looking roses make Hwamin so excited? It turned out that when they were young and first started dating, they gave each other a Valentine's Day. At that time, they were both students, so they didn't give each other anything too expensive. Although Chin Chu came from a wealthy family, he wouldn't give Hwamian any extravagant gifts. At that time, Hwamin's hair was also flowing in the wind. Chin Chu saw this pair of rose hairpins when he was shopping. He wrapped them up and gave them to Hwamin. Hwamian didn't know what they meant at that time, until Zhu Lingling reminded her of the song, The Most Beautiful, that was sung by the Yuchuan group, which was extremely popular at that time. There was one line in the song's lyrics. I gave you 12 roses. Each one is as beautiful as you are. Chin Chu wanted to tell her that she was the most beautiful woman in his heart. Hwamin also really liked this ordinary-looking gift because Chin Chu had carefully chosen it. So that day, when she wore the hairpins on her hair for the first time, it stunned and softened the passing of time. Later on, Chin Chu gave Hwamin many other gifts, but her favorite was still this pair of rose hairpins. Until the day before their high school graduation, they originally planned to go abroad together, but Hwamin completely broke up with Chin Chu because of her stepfather's car accident. At the graduation ceremony, she publicly announced that she was breaking up with Chin Chu. From then on, Hwamian was just a passerby. In order to make Chin Chu give up, she pulled a pair of rose hairpins off her head in front of all her classmates and fiercely threw them on the ground. The rose petals instantly shattered, just like Chin Chu's heart. It hurt so much that it couldn't heal. Later on, Hwamin turned and left, leaving Chin Chu all alone. Chapter 2406. He knelt down and picked up the scattered roses. For the first time in his life, he felt so sad that he couldn't breathe. Then, Qin Shu went abroad, and they parted for 7 years. The stories of his youth were always like strong wine. They came strong and left indifferently. Many years later, Huamin would still feel guilty whenever she thought about what she did. She would regret destroying the gift that was so important to her. Now that Qin Shu presented it to her with both hands, how could Huamin not be moved and shed tears? The reason for that was because to the two of them, that item held extraordinary significance. It was extremely important. Honey, where did you get this thing? Back then, Before Huamin could finish her sentence, she paused. If Qin Shu had someone redo it or buy it, it would have looked brand new. It wouldn't have looked so old like it was now. Therefore, Huamin made a bold guess. This was the pair of hair clips that she broke back then. As expected, Qin Shu nodded and said, "After you broke it, I carefully picked it up and kept it with me. Last night, after you fell asleep, I went to the study and glued it back together. Although it's not as new as before, it's still the same. Nothing can replace it." Huamin carefully took out the hair clips, placed them in her hands, and gently stroked them. Then she couldn't help but cry. "Don't cry. We should be happy." Qin Shu picked up a tissue and gently wiped Huamin's tears. "Yes, we should be happy. Honey, did you know? Out of all the gifts you gave me, this is my favorite." Huamin's voice trembled as she looked up at Qin Shu. "I know." Qin Shu's tone was gentle. "Then do you know why this is my favorite?" Huamin asked again. "Because when I was a student, I bought it with the money I earned from playing piano for a day. I didn't use my parents' money." Qin Shu seemed to know Huamin very well. Huamin excitedly held on to Qin Shu's arm and nodded. "Yes, because you used your own money. You're such an arrogant person, but you were willing to play piano for a day just to buy me a gift. Do you know how I felt when Gao Ran told me?" Qin Shu gently stroked Huamin's long hair with a smile. "I'm thinking, I want to cherish a man who's willing to lower himself for me and love me for the rest of my life." Huamian couldn't help but burst into tears again. "Wow, Dr. Hua, are you confessing to me again?" Qin Shu teased her. "Honey, thank you. Thank you for letting me see it again. I thought I would never get it back." Huamin sobbed as she leaned into Qin Shu's arms. "Don't cry. Here, let me put it on for you." Qin Shu carefully wiped away Huamin's tears. Then he picked up 2 hairpins and put them on Huamin's hair. Huamin lovingly reached out to touch the hairpins on her head as if she had received a precious gift. "I told you would be happy to see it." Qin Shu smiled from the bottom of his heart. "Yes, even after so many years, it's still my favorite gift," Huamin said as she stood up and hugged Qin Shu's broad waist tightly. Then she kissed him deeply. Chapter 2407. The 12 Roses I Prepared. Each one as beautiful as you. Your beauty is silent, unknowingly making me follow you. Baby, this time I'm in love. I'm at a loss, but I don't regret it. In such a beautiful glass room by the cliff, looking at the roses blooming all over the sky. With a precious gift on my head, I'm listening to such a touching old song. Huamin suddenly felt that if time stopped at this moment, she would be the happiest person in the world. Originally, it wasn't big news that no one could buy roses in the city, but Huamin posted the roses on her WeChat moments. One person spread 10, and 10 people spread 100, and this news spread. Some media outlets began to report on it, and on Valentine's Day, all the media outlets were reporting on it. GK's president and his wife show their love in a low-key manner, buying all the roses in a domineering manner. "I'm going to buy all the roses, so no one could buy roses." Qin Shu's beloved wife proclamation. A sea of roses for the love of his life. Qin clan couple show their love to a new level. The clear water wrinkles because of the wind. Green mountains never grow old. Rich people have true love. Rich people have true love. President Qin Shu bought all the roses in the city to make his wife smile, just to give her a different Valentine's Day present. In short, the chicken soup for the soul on WeChat moments that night were all soft posts. Huamin and Qin Shu appeared on the news again, although they really didn't want to be high profile. Huamin didn't realize that her WeChat Moments was about to explode until she and Qinshu were on their way back from dinner. Many fans even left comments on Weibo, making her feel helpless. Imperial Star Headquarters. Suyu didn't deliberately work overtime, but he did have 2 meetings in a row, and it was already 7 p.m. when he got off work. Seeing that it was too late, he didn't pick up the twins. After putting a WeChat message, he drove away from the company within Valentine's Day, which was full of single people on the streets, was really uncomfortable for a single person like him. Even at the old mansion, his parents would go out on romantic dates and have candlelight dinners. His friends were also in pairs. He opened his WeChat Moments. Wei Liao and Jiang Xiaowei were deeply in love with each other. Gao Ran and Zhu Lingling showed their love for each other. Qin Shu and Huamin were deeply in love with each other. And Aiyang and Chun Jie showed off their love. Even the unreliable Master Tang, who was previously a playboy, didn't forget to show off his love when he was changing planes. What kind of world was this? President Su, are you in a bad mood? Looked at Suyu with a straight face. I suddenly feel like drinking, but unfortunately, it's hard to find someone who can drink. Old Wei is at home with his wife. Tang Chuan, that brat, went to America with his girlfriend. President Su, how about I drink with you? And said quietly, if you're drunk too, who's going to protect me? Suyu joked. And, okay, I'm just joking with you. Let's go. I'm tired from working overtime. Let's go get a drink. Suyu didn't deliberately make fun of it. When they passed by Dizun nightclub, he parked his car in front of the entrance. After Rick left, Seductive Fox's business wasn't as good as before, and Tang Chuan didn't manage it well either. Therefore, all the rich heirs and rich people came to the newly opened Dizun. It was Suyu's first time here, but everyone in the nightclub knew who he was. Lord Su is here. Please come in. The lobby manager looked as if he saw the god of fortune and invited Suyu in and inside. Chapter 2408. Lord Su reserved the best private room for you. It's on the top floor. It's okay. It's just the 2 of us. The private room is too big. Let's just sit at the bar for a while. It'll be lively. Suyu waved his hand. He walked into the bar within, and the manager opened a booth for them. The bar was very lively. Waves of explosive disco music were playing, and men and women in revealing clothes were twisting their bodies under the flashing lights. Without Suyu's instructions, the manager ordered people to bring in a lot of drinks and fruit plates. And if you like any girl, go and flirt with her yourself. Ha! Don't be shy. Don't suppress yourself, Suyu said as he ate sunflower seeds. It's okay, President Su. I'm not that lucky. And shook his head. He wanted to sit here for a while and then leave, but he didn't expect to see an acquaintance here. Big brother Suyu, a clear female voice called out. Suyu turned his head and saw Wei Ying. Beside her stood a tall girl. Why are you here? Suyu asked. I'm single too. I'm here with my friends. Why are you here? Wei Ying had a lot of bad friends and had a lot of fun, but she didn't expect to see Suyu here. After all, he wouldn't easily come to a place with so many people. Oh, nothing. I'm just here to see. Suyu was close to Wei Liao, so he had known Wei Ying since they were young. Wei Ying would also call him Big Brother when they met. Then, can we share a table with you? Wei Ying asked with a smile. Up to you. Suyu nodded with a bottle of beer in his hand. Wei Ying immediately led the girl to Suyu's table. Let me introduce you to my good friend, Zhang Wanyu. She's an internet celebrity. She's the most popular streamer on a live streaming platform and has tens of millions of fans. She's even been on a TV show. Wei Ying strongly recommended her best friend. Hello, young Master Su. The girl looked gentle and had the standard face of an internet celebrity. She was indeed very good-looking, but she wasn't easily recognizable. She might not be able to recall anything after a glance. Suyu nodded and didn't say anything. He just looked at the center of the dance floor. Wanyu, haven't you always wanted to achieve enlightenment? My brother, Suyu, is a media tycoon. Most of the popular actresses were groomed by him. Do you know Nielingxian? She's an actress from Imperial Star, Wei Ying said proudly. I know. Young Master, Su has always been the idol of many of us girls. The girl shyly looked at Suyu and smiled. Big brother Suyu, Is it true that you're with a new star, Niao Lingxian? Wei Ying asked casually. Of course not, Su Yu replied indifferently. Ah, I knew it. If you were really in a relationship, my brother would know. But when I asked him the other day, he said it wasn't. But you've been single for a few years now, right? Haven't you thought about getting a girlfriend or something? Wei Ying purposely looked at her best friend as she asked. The girl also looked at Su Yu expectantly, as if she was waiting for his answer. It's good to be single. Women are troublesome sometimes. Su Yu took a sip of beer. Wei Ying and her best friend immediately felt awkward. By the way, big brother Su Yu, do you know why we can't buy any roses in the city today? Wei Ying asked mysteriously. Su Yu's eyes flashed, but he didn't say anything. His hand that was holding the beer moved slightly. Chapter 2409. Before Hua Xiqian could speak, Wei Ying said, I heard that Qin Shu bought out all the roses to give his wife a surprise. TSK, he's so arrogant, as if he's the only rich one. Why does he have to be so ostentatious? Big brother Su Yu is so rich, but I don't see him flaunting his wealth. To be honest, I'm starting to despise them more and more. Sometimes I think they're so hypocritical. Wei Ying didn't like Hua Min because of Hua Yinyan's relationship with Hua Yinyan. However, she ignored Su Yu's feelings for Hua Min. Therefore, she didn't even notice the subtle changes on Su Yu's face when she spoke without thinking, and gave her a few looks, but she didn't see it all. I heard that she went to a third-rate university. She didn't even study abroad. She's a country bumpkin, and she's a doctor. How could she be compared to my sister-in-law? My sister-in-law got her doctorate from overseas. She's a famous psychologist, and even the leaders of the Municipal Public Security Bureau have to be polite to her. Plus, her parents are both famous professors. Hua Min should look at himself in the mirror. How can he show off his love on Valentine's Day? In my opinion, she's going to be a mistress sooner or later. After all, it's taboo for a woman to not have a son after marrying into a rich family. Qin Shu will have another woman sooner or later. When that happens, she'll cry her heart out. Wei Ying had always been vicious with her words, but because they hadn't interacted much before, Su Yu didn't have any conflicts with her. Now, she was so arrogant that she insulted Hua Min in front of Su Yu. She had crossed the line with Su Yu, and stared at his boss cautiously and saw that his boss's face was turning green. However, Wei Ying was still talking with relish, and broke out in cold sweat for her. After Wei Ying finished, she looked at Su Yu gleefully. Big brother Su Yu, am I right? Wei Ying was jealous because she heard that Qin Chu bought all the roses because he loved his wife. She was jealous, so she spoke viciously. I think Hua Mian gave birth to 2 girls, but you didn't have any children after you married into the Shin family. Don't call me the pot calling the kettle black, Su Yu said slowly. Big brother Su Yu, what are you talking about? Wei Ying understood what he was talking about. Su Yu brought up the fact that she didn't have any children after marrying into the Shun family. Everyone in the Wei family knew that this was Wei Ying's sore spot. Women, you shouldn't be so vicious. How much pain do you have in your heart that you can't bear to see other people living well? Hua Min doesn't have a degree or looks. What does that have to do with you? Does it bother you? You're making it sound like you're very close to her. You even brought up your sister-in-law. I used to think that Shin Mingxi was wrong to divorce you because he didn't want you. After all, you've given your heart to him. It's very pitiful that you were forced into a divorce. Now I understand. He made the right choice by not wanting you. Any normal man wouldn't want a woman like you. After all, no one wants to cause trouble for themselves. Wei Ying was dumbfounded by Su Yu's words. Chapter 2410. Big brother Su Yu. She wasn't prepared for this at all when Su Yu scolded her. Don't keep calling me Big brother Su Yu. I'm only talking to you because I'm giving your brother face. But don't be so shameless. Then Su Yu got up, kicked the chair he was sitting on, and left, and stood up and followed him silently, seeing the boss's livid face, and knew that if Wei Ying wasn't Wei Liao's biological sister and a woman, he would have been furious. The boss would have been furious. What's wrong? Why did you piss young Master Su off? Aren't you guys close? The internet celebrity asked in a low voice. How the fuck would I know? Wei Ying roared, feeling wronged. Walking out of the bar, Suyu wasn't in the mood at all. Take me back to my mansion and drive my car home. Pick me up tomorrow morning. Okay, boss. Seeing his boss in a bad mood, and didn't dare to say more, he drove Suyu back to his private mansion. When Suyu came out of the shower, he saw a lot of messages on WeChat. Most of them were red packets and blessings from artists in the company, and some from friends in the industry. Suyu clicked on them and saw Nian Xuan's red packet. It was 520 yuan. He frowned slightly and sent Nian Lingxian a red packet. It was 888 yuan. Thank you, President Su. After receiving the red packet, Nian Lingxian sent a smiley face. She seemed to be in a good mood. Work hard. The company won't mistreat you. You're a smart woman. I hope you won't follow in Jiantong's footsteps. Suyu rarely spoke to female artists. Nian Lingxian fell into deep thought when she heard the last sentence. She didn't know what Suyu meant. Was he asking her not to be as scheming and high-profile as Jiantong, or not to pester him like Jiantong? Rest early, President Su. Good night. Nian Lingxian didn't dare to say more and only said good night quietly. Suyu did not reply to her. Suyu took out his phone and scrolled through his WeChat moments. Then, he repeatedly looked at Hua Min's profile picture. It was a family photo of the four of them. She didn't know when it was taken, but the family of four was wearing national clothes. Qin Chu was wearing a green robe, and Hua Min was wearing a green cheongsam. Her hair was combed into a vintage bun, which made her look exceptionally elegant. The two little fellows were also wearing the uniform of the Republic of China. They were identical little cheongsams, which were extremely cute. Such a happy family of four. Suyu sighed slightly. After thinking for a long time, he opened Hua Min's profile picture. She typed, Happy Valentine's Day. But after writing it, he felt that it was inappropriate and deleted it. In the end, he didn't tell Hua Min anything. He knew that he should not disturb her. He missed her silently in his heart. Perhaps this was the best for them. Late at night, Hua Xiqian's quality of sleep was getting worse and worse. He got up and walked to his study in his luxurious nightgown. He opened his drawer and took out a white bottle of pills. With trembling hands, he took out 3 or 4 pills and swallowed them all. Although the doctor advised him to only take 1 pill a day, 1 pill was no longer effective for him. He had to use more tricks. Hua Xiqian took off his gold-rimmed glasses and sat in front of his desk in the study. Many things had happened recently, especially Mo Shue's death. It made him feel a little guilty. He even thought about it repeatedly. If he didn't support Mo Shui and didn't let her walk down this path, she wouldn't have ended up like this. Ian gave him a month, and the countdown had already begun. So what was he supposed to do? Mion, my Mion, tell me, what should I do? Hua Xiqian looked at Hua Min's profile picture and muttered to himself. Chapter 2411. On Valentine's Day, Hua Xiqian didn't do anything. He didn't text or call Hua Min. What's more, he didn't give Hua Min any gifts. Boss, don't we need to prepare a Valentine's Day gift for Miss Hua Min? Hua Xiqian's henchmen all knew about his obsession with Hua Min. It's Valentine's Day today. We're not lovers, so I don't need to prepare a gift for her, Hua Xiqian said casually as he played with 2 walnuts in his hand. Yes. You and Miss Hua are family. Of course, you'll love her more than anyone else, the henchman said flatteringly. However, it was very effective. Hua Xiqian smiled. Yes, we'll be family for life. We'll be together forever. The whole corporation had been much more low-key lately. Although the police had investigated and monitored them because of the Xiang family incident and Mo Shue's death, they didn't find anything. However, I didn't find anything. Hua Xiqian had been a law-abiding citizen. When Mo Shu died, he even followed the wishes of her fans and held a grand funeral for her. He even gave Mo family a large sum of money. People who didn't know better would think that Hua Xiqian had changed his career to become a philanthropist. After Hua Min and Qin Chu spent some alone time together, it was already past 9 p.m. when they got home. The twins were still awake and playing with their grandparents in the living room. Little Bean had always been the naughty one. She had been playing with the hoverboard that her daddy bought her and was having a lot of fun. Pudding, on the other hand, was bored after playing with it for a while. Then, she leaned on the sofa and played with her phone. Pudding, you can't always play games on your phone. You'll be nearsighted. You'll have to wear glasses. You're so pretty, it'll affect your looks. Grandma tried to scare Pudding. Grandma, I'm not playing games. I'm reading some financial advice. It'll help the stock market tomorrow. Also, can we have surgery to correct nearsightedness? The surgery only takes 20 seconds. It's the best in the US. There's no pain or loss. So, you don't have to worry about us. Pudding comforted her grandma with a smile. This child, old Madam Cheen, was also helpless. Grandma, you don't have to persuade Pudding. She's the third smartest person in our family. Other than Daddy and Mommy, no one can control her. Little Bean tried to persuade her grandma as she played with the hoverboard. Old and young children, what a lively scene. You two are so smart. No wonder your grandma said that she can't keep up with your thoughts. It seems that our generation is really old. How is this looking at our granddaughter? It's almost like our granddaughter is looking at us. Mrs. Cheen laughed. Look at how smart they are. They don't look like they'll be taken advantage of. Let's not worry about them. Our children and grandchildren will take care of themselves. Grandpa looked at the twins lovingly and sighed. Grandpa, to be honest, have you ever thought about having a grandson? Little Bean mischievously slid the hover bike in front of her grandpa and wrapped her arms around his neck. Oh, that's an offensive question. I'm not going to answer. Old Master Cheen wasn't senile. He knew that it was a trap, so he didn't answer. Haha, Grandpa, just say it. I'm not angry. Pudding won't be angry either. We've talked about this in private. Don't think of us as shallow people, okay? How childish would we be if we didn't let our parents have a second child? Little Bean rolled her eyes. Little one, you're smart. Grandma chuckled. Chapter 24:12. To be honest, I'm not in good health. If it weren't for your mommy and daddy who performed several difficult surgeries on me, I wouldn't be alive now. So, I'm very happy to be able to see my two cute granddaughters while I'm still alive. When people reach my age, they know that contentment is the best. Why would I be so greedy and ask for grandchildren? Old Master Cheen said with a smile. His father is right. I think so too. Things are fine now. Your daddy and mommy are under a lot of pressure. They're busy with their own things every day. If they don't want to have children, we won't force them. Plus, we don't value boys over girls anymore. Boys and girls are our children. It's all the same, Grandma explained. Okay. It sounds like you're saying that it's great that they come, but you won't regret it if they don't come, right? Little Bean asked. You can say that. Grandpa smiled and picked up his teacup. I think your wish will come true. After all, Mr. and Mrs. Cheen have been so lovey-dovey lately. If this continues, you won't have to worry about a second child. Little Bean said like an adult. Her words made Grandpa and Grandma laugh. Even Pudding, who was always calm, couldn't help but snicker. Little Bean, what are you talking about? Huomin pushed open the door and walked in. Oh no, I got caught red-handed. Little Bean immediately covered her mouth and didn't dare to say anything else. Chinshu walked over and sat down beside Little Bean. He lovingly patted Little Bean's head and asked, How's the hoverboard? It's very easy, okay? After we got it back, my sister and I finished it in 3 minutes. Little Bean bragged. You took 3 minutes, but I took 45 seconds, okay? Pudding wasn't convinced. Qin Zhao, please don't embarrass me. After all, we were in the same womb. Little Bean felt very embarrassed. It's okay. I understand. Qin Shu looked at his daughter and smiled. Today's Valentine's Day with someone is so romantic. Where's the sea of flowers? Didn't they move out? Little Bean covered her mouth and snickered. She looked at her mommy and daddy. Huomin deliberately changed the topic. I think it's time for us to talk about Daddy buying a hover car for Gao. Ahem. Mommy, I'm a little sleepy. I'm going upstairs to take a shower and sleep. Good night. Embarrassed, Little Bean turned around and ran upstairs. Pudding yawned, put away her phone, and got up. I'm going to keep an eye on her. Otherwise, she'll fill the bathroom with water again. Good night, Daddy, Mommy. Good night, Grandpa, Grandma. Pudding was relatively calm and had more concerns. After the children went upstairs, Huamin also sat down on the sofa. Mom, today is Valentine's Day. Did Dad give you a present? Huamin asked with a smile. Back then, we didn't celebrate any foreign festivals. It's nothing compared to what you have now. Besides, with your father's wooden fish, how would he know how to give me a present? Basically, he'll give you a credit card. He'll tell you to buy whatever you want, Mrs. Qin complained. Qin Shu put his arms around his mother's neck and sighed. So Dad's bossy CEO style was popular back then? What are you talking about? Look at the time. You two have work tomorrow, right? Go to bed early. Mr. Qin was embarrassed and lectured them with a straight face. Did Ningning call? Did Uncle Qin tell her that she's going back? Qin Shu suddenly thought of this. Ningning didn't call, but your second uncle did. He told me about the wedding, but I didn't know what was going on. Call him tomorrow and ask him what's going on. Qin Shu's father carefully tried to recall what happened. Chapter 24:13. Wedding? So soon? Qin Shu was slightly surprised. It's really soon. Why don't you ask Uncle Qin tomorrow? Huamin was also shocked. Okay, I'll call Uncle Qin tomorrow. Mom, Dad, you should go to bed early too. We're going upstairs. Then, Qin Shu and Huamin went upstairs to rest. The next morning, after breakfast, the two of them drove to work. Since Ian left, Qin Shu didn't have to keep an eye on Huamin every day. Huamin drove his Audi R8 to Southside. After the morning meeting, he went downstairs to his office. Chen Jie brought in a bunch of documents. Chief, there are a lot of patients today. I split them into morning and afternoon sessions. Please take a look at them first. Huamin nodded. Just then, there was a knock on the door. Hello, is this Dr. Hua's office? Huamin heard the familiar voice and looked up to see Hua Yinyan. Yinyan. She was slightly surprised. Chief, I'll go out first. Chen Jie saw that Huamin had a friend, so she left and closed the door. Huamin got up and pulled a chair for Hua Yinyan. Sit down. I've been looking for you for a long time. It's really hard to find you. If I didn't come, I wouldn't have known that you were promoted to deputy director. Hua Yinyan smiled elegantly. She wore an apricot-colored suit and a luxurious scarf around her neck. She was dressed from head to toe in branded clothes. She looked the same as before, but she wasn't as high-profile and her taste had improved. After Hua Yinyan got together with Shan Mingxi, she didn't have many chances to see Huamin. They never spoke on WeChat and only liked each other from time to time. Yesterday, on Valentine's Day, Huamin saw her post on WeChat. It seemed like they went hiking, barbecuing, and camping in the suburbs. The relationship between the two of them seemed to be very good. At least, she was living a good life now. Vice Director? That's just a title. I'm here as a specialist, just like any other doctor. Huamian smiled. Then, she got up and poured Hua Yinyan a glass of water. I've finished all the tea, and I didn't have time to buy more. Drink some water first. Okay, thank you. Yinyan, you came looking for me because you missed me, right? Huami never thought that Hua Yinyan was here because she missed her. Because if that was the case, they could have just arranged a time to meet on WeChat. They wouldn't have come so abruptly. Hua Yinyan put down a glass in her hand and looked at Huamin seriously. Mian, since you asked, I'll tell you. I did come here today to discuss something with you. Okay, go ahead. Actually, before Mo Schwer got into trouble, she came to me and gave me a bottle. Hua Yinyan calmly told Amin about the deal she made with Mo Schwer in private. She even took out the bottle of medicine and showed it to Huamin. Huamin took the small bottle, opened it, and sniffed. It does smell like her, but we need to test it carefully before we can be sure. I believe that she wanted to kill Hua Xiqian, but unfortunately, something happened to her before we could do anything. Now that she's dead, I don't dare to do anything on my own. However, this incident made me realize that Hua Xiqian does indeed have a mental illness. Maybe it's schizophrenia or something. He must have taken a lot of drugs to suppress it. Otherwise, Mo Schwer wouldn't have taken advantage of this. So, what are you trying to say? Huamin looked at Hua Yinyan and asked calmly. Chapter 24:14. Hua Xiqian, I know you want to get rid of Hua Xiqian as well. You and Qin Shu have been collecting evidence to bring him to justice and clear his name for Song Yisher's death. But have you thought about it? If he really is mentally ill, he won't be charged with murder. There's a loophole in our country's laws. Mentally ill people won't be held accountable. How do I know if he's faking it or if he's actually mentally ill? That's something that needs to be tested by the medical department. It's not as if he's mentally ill just because he takes a few pills and suffers from insomnia. Huamin thought Hui Yinyan was oversimplifying things. I don't care if he's mentally ill or not. All I want is to kill him, Hui Yinyan said slowly, her eyes filled with hatred. Seeing the hatred in Hui Yinyan's eyes, Huamin wasn't surprised. She knew from the very beginning that Hui Yinyan didn't spend so much effort to be with Shan Mingxi just because she loved him, nor was it because she wanted to live a luxurious life. Most of it was because she wanted to take revenge on Hui Xiqian. Yinyan, I know you hate him, and I know you want revenge. But Hui Xiqian isn't that easy to bring down. Huami knew that Hui Xiqian wasn't that easy to deal with after learning about Ian's relationship with Hui Xiqian. Mian, are you softening up? I know Hui Xiqian has always liked you. All these years, even though he's done a lot of horrible things, he only did them to us. He's always been loyal to you. He's even willing to give you his heart. I heard that he almost died because of you when C kidnapped you. So, you don't have the heart to do anything to him, right? No, that's two different things. No matter how he treats me, the damage he did to us will never be erased. My husband and I were separated for 4 years in a foreign country, and he still has old injuries on his legs. These are all thanks to him. I haven't forgotten. Let's work together then. With your help, we can get rid of him in a matter of minutes. Even if we can't kill him directly, we can make him lose everything. At least we can take back everything that belongs to the Hua family and not lose his heartless adopted son. Although Dad didn't treat him well all these years, he still grew up in the Hua family. How could he hurt Dad? If it weren't for him, Mom, see, and I wouldn't be in this situation today. I hate him to death. Hui Yinyan's eyes were hazy with tears as she spoke. Huamin knew that she wasn't faking it because she didn't need to in front of Huamin. Yinyan, I understand what you're thinking, but Hui Xiqian isn't that simple. There's a lot of power behind him. Before you hit a dog, you have to look at its owner first. I don't want to alert him, at least not before I'm confident. My husband has been collecting evidence of his crimes for a long time. There's a lot of evidence, but he's been waiting for the right opportunity. Huamin couldn't directly tell her everything about Ian. He could only tell Hui Yinyan that Hui Xiqian had a bigger master behind him. Unfortunately, Hui Yinyan didn't seem to be interested in these things. All she wanted was revenge. Fine, if you don't want to, then I'll do it myself. Anyways, I won't let him get away with it. Hui Yinyan sighed slightly. You don't have to say anything more. I understand your situation. That's all then. Sorry for disturbing you. Hua Yinyan seemed to be unhappy that Huamin didn't agree to work with her. When she left, she had a cold expression on her face. Huamin could only sigh slightly. She had her own problems as well. On the other hand, the twins went out with their grandparents and bodyguards to eat abalone at a high-end restaurant. Unexpectedly, they bumped into Hui Xiqian, who was also hosting a banquet. Wow, my babies, long time no see. Hui Xiqian squatted down and looked at the twins up close. Chapter 24:15. It's been thousands of years since I last came out for a meal, and now I'm having a meal with you. What a coincidence. Pudding said. Pudding inherited Huamin's calmness and Qin Shu's arrogance, so she was born with a powerful aura and wasn't afraid of anything. Even when she was kidnapped by Huamin's men, she still knew how to observe her surroundings and persuade the big dumb guy. She was indeed an extraordinary child. It seems like you don't like me that much. Hui Xiqian smiled. Lady Qin and Old Master Qin were busy chatting with their friends and didn't notice that Hui Xiqian was interacting with his granddaughters. Of course, you know that every time we see you, our hearts are heavier than when we visit a grave. Why are you asking the obvious? Are you an idiot? Little Bean asked impolitely. Little Bean, don't you think it's rude to talk to your uncle like that? I'm sorry, I've never had an uncle like you. Don't flatter yourself. Little Bean turned her head away. Little Bean, I thought that after what happened last time, you'd change your opinion of me. After all, we've been through life and death together. We're revolutionary friends. Huasiqian, try to get closer to Little Bean. Stop. Don't try to get closer to me. It's not the same, okay? Even if we've been through life and death together 10 times, I still won't change my opinion of you. After all, you're always trying to kidnap my mommy. You're a big bad guy. Little Bean didn't forget to glare at Huasiqian. However, Huasiqian wasn't angry at all. In fact, he thought that the two sisters were too cute. Ha! I don't want to kidnap your mommy. That's because your mommy is too nice. Suyu also wants to kidnap your mommy. But you two are so nice to him. It's not fair. Huasiqian was slightly jealous. They were both chasing after Huamin and Qin Shu's love rivals. Why was Suyu treated like a godfather to the twins? But he was their uncle, who had the same surname as Huamin. Yet, he was scolded by the two little fellows as a big bad guy. Wasn't this too unreconciled? Please, don't compare yourself to Handsome Su, okay? You really don't deserve it. Pudding had deep feelings for Suyu, so she didn't want to compare Huasiqian to Suyu. They even felt that it was blasphemy for Suyu to be mentioned at the same time as Suyu. That's right. How can you compare to our handsome Su? First of all, you don't have any love. You're not kind at all. You're so old, but you can't find a wife, have parents, and don't have any children. That's right. You'll be alone in the future, and you won't have anyone to take care of you when you're old. Using the words of the fortune teller under the bridge, you're a jinx. Yes, a jinx. Tisk tsk. You're so young, but you're already so vicious. You're not like your mommy at all. At least she's gentler than you two. Huasiqian continued to laugh. My mommy won't lower herself to your level, okay? Get out of our way. You're so annoying. Little Bean was a bit impatient. She pulled her sister around Huasiqian, too lazy to say anything to him. Pudding, Little Bean, follow us. We're going upstairs to the private room. Qin Shu's parents didn't pay attention to Huasiqian. They only looked at their granddaughters and then went upstairs. Boss, should we get those two kids? This is a good opportunity. They only brought 2 bodyguards and a useless driver. We can definitely get them. Then, with the kids in our hands, Miss Wu will listen to you. Huasiqian's subordinate understood his boss very well. He tried to come up with a good idea to win his boss's appreciation. Huasiqian didn't say anything. He just quietly turned around. Chapter 24:16. Then, Huasiqian suddenly raised his right hand and slapped the subordinate's face. Immediately, he felt a sharp pain. If you dare to say something like that again, I won't forgive you. Huasiqian glared at him. Yes, I was wrong. He didn't do a good job of flattering Huasiqian, so it was inevitable that he would be slapped. Huasiqian turned around and walked out. Another subordinate behind him whispered to that person, Boss loves Miss Hua very much. Of course, he loves the 2 children very much. Don't say such things in the future. Boss will fly into a rage. You might not know this, but although Boss really wants Miss Hua, he doesn't want to do anything that will make her sad. He's afraid of hurting their relationship. Okay, I know. After being slapped, the man learned his lesson and didn't dare to say anything else. After Huasiqian got into the car, the driver drove off. He sat in the back seat, his showy fingers tapping on the edge of the luxury car, thinking about something. Suddenly, he took out his phone and dialed a number. It was the number of Hua Min's office. Because he was in the middle of a house call, he was very busy, and there were patients and family members in the office. Therefore, he didn't have time to look at the caller ID before he picked up the call. Hello, this is the neurology department of Southside Recuperation Center. I'm Hua Min, your attending physician. Her voice was very clear and smooth. Mion, he said in a hoarse voice. Hua Min's expression changed slightly, and he immediately recognized Huasiqian's voice. Mion, I just saw Pudding and Little Bean. Your daughters are really... Huasiqian smiled. What do you want? Hua Min heard him say this, and his heart was in his throat. I don't want to do anything. I just happened to run into them at dinner and said a few words to them. Pudding is very much like you. She's not afraid in the face of danger, and she's very mature at such a young age. Little Bean is very funny. She talks a lot, and her mouth is quite sharp, just like you. Huasiqian, don't touch my daughters. Don't have any ideas about them, or I'll kill you. Huamin lowered his voice and said into the phone, Am I that kind of person to you? What do you think? Huamin asked coldly. Okay, I admit that I'm not a good person, but Mian, I've never wanted to hurt you, not in the past, and not in the future, really, Huasiqian said gently. He rarely explained things to anyone so seriously. I'm tired of hearing these words. Huasiqian, I won't believe you. I know you have Ian behind you. If you want to get on Ian's good side and tell him my real identity, then go ahead. We won't be led by the nose by you. We'll have to face this sooner or later. Qin Chu and I aren't afraid. Do you think I'll tell Ian? Huh? Huasiqian laughed bitterly. It's up to you to tell him or not. Huamin was ready to go all out. Ian is looking for you, and he's in a hurry. I think he's out of options and wants to force your father and Lu Yin to show up. Maybe he wants to carry out his destructive plan, but this has nothing to do with me. I told you before that I won't hand you over to Ian. I won't let anything happen to you. Huasiqian promised. If you really don't want to hurt me, then you shouldn't disturb me. You should stay away from my life. You've hurt me enough, Huamin said slowly. Mian, you're being too cruel. I can't be as great as Su Yu. Really, I love you, so I have to have you. You'll only be happy if you're with me. Qin Chu can't protect you. He can't. Stop trying to drive a wedge between us. No matter what you say, I won't believe you. Huamin thought Huasiqian was crazy. Calling him over the phone was ridiculous. Mian, if one day I die, will you be sad? Even if it's just a little bit? Huasiqian suddenly changed the topic and asked this sad question. Although they were on the phone, Huamian could feel the sadness in his voice. Chapter 24:17. I still have patients here, so I have to go now. Bye. Huamian didn't answer his question and hung up the phone. Huasiqian's question put Huamin in a difficult position. If only she could bear to see Huasiqian die. When Huasi kidnapped them, Huasiqian was almost beaten to death by Huasi in order to protect her. He was seriously injured for so long and had to stay in the hospital for so long, but he didn't complain. To be honest, when she saw Huasiqian bleed nonstop, she was really close to dying. Huamin couldn't bear to see Huasiqian die, but Huasiqian's question was something that Huamin couldn't answer. If she said she was sad, she would give him a little hope. He would think that Huamin still had feelings for her, and then he would fall deeper and deeper. She was never someone who liked to give others hope. This was reflected in Su Yu. If she said she wasn't sad, it would really hurt her. No matter how bad Huasiqian was, he still protected her with his life. Huamin still couldn't bear to see her like this. Perhaps after becoming a mother, she was no longer as decisive and resolute as she was before. Dr. Hua, do I need to take any medicine? The patient asked anxiously. No. If it's not serious, I usually don't advise my patients to take medicine. After all, there are a lot of ingredients in this medicine that can stimulate the brain. Your current condition is only mild. I think you'll feel better after a few counseling sessions. I'll help you make an appointment with a psychiatrist in our hospital. Can you try a few sessions first? Huamin looked at the woman patiently. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Hua. You're welcome. The woman nodded politely at Huamin. Then, she took the patient's record and left. Xinjia walked in with a cup of milk tea. Chief, let's take a break. There's still a lot of patients coming in. I don't know what's going on. Is it because it's spring? Why are there so many patients in our department all of a sudden? It's really strange. Huamin took the milk tea and took a sip. That's not surprising. There are many patients with depression in the first place. It's just that our people didn't know much about it in the past, especially in the remote mountain villages. Those people treated it as a serious cold, but it became more and more serious. Now that there are more patients, it means that everyone's thinking has improved. It's a good thing to get treatment early. Luckily, the girl was smart enough to find an opportunity to escape and call the police. She was sent to the hospital in time. Otherwise, she would have been dead. Speaking of which, they're both highly educated. According to my medical records, the girl has a master's degree. She's a physics teacher at a high school in the city. I heard that her fiancé is a doctor who returned from overseas and works at the Ministry of Education. What a bright future! What a bright future! TSK. I really don't know what they're thinking. Chun Jie rarely discussed patient gossip with Huamin, but she had chatted with the patient's sister when they were outside. The girl's sister explained the situation to Chun Jie intermittently, and Chun Jie was shocked after hearing it. No wonder such a young and beautiful girl wanted to see a neurologist. It wasn't an endocrine disorder after all. She was almost killed by the man she loved the most. It would be strange if she wasn't scared out of her wits. Chief, why are there so many perverts nowadays? Why do they always want to commit suicide? Chun Jie looked at Huamin in confusion. Chapter 24:18. Huamin wasn't surprised by Chun Jie's words. He had been working here for a long time and came across all kinds of strange patients every day. Most of them had gone through setbacks. For example, there was a beautiful young girl who was said to be an internet streamer. However, due to a breakup, she suffered minor injuries and became mentally unstable. She would wake up in the middle of the night and sleepwalk to the streets. She would take off her clothes and attract a lot of onlookers. After a few repetitions, her family realized that the problem was serious and sent her to the hospital. Yeah, remember that most people who suffer from depression are highly educated or emotionally affected. Migrant workers don't get it. I'm not looking down on migrant workers, but they work hard every day to make a living. They sleep when they're tired and eat when they're hungry. Their lives are relatively simple, and they don't have the energy to think about things. Only those who are highly educated, especially those who are arrogant and aloof, feel that the world doesn't understand them. They think that they're not on the same level as the average person because they've read a lot of books. Only these people would be so stubborn. Chief, you're right. After working here for so long, I've noticed a pattern. Most of our patients are highly educated. Chun Jie had to admit that she was impressed by Huamin's observation. I'm just speculating logically. Huamin smiled and continued to drink his milk tea. He no longer thought about Hua Xiqian's call. After dinner, Hua Xiqian returned to the Hua Corporation. As soon as he entered his office, he saw Yin Ruoshi, whom he hadn't seen in a long time. She had indeed disappeared for a long time. After Immerse's death, there was no news of her. Hua Xiqian also didn't talk to Mayor Yin recently. Therefore, he didn't pay much attention to Yin Ruoshi's whereabouts. He was surprised to see her now. Qian, you're back? Yin Ruoshi stood up and asked weakly when she saw Hua Xiqian walk in. Compared to before, her style seemed to have changed a lot. Whether it was the way she dressed, she was much more mature. She was no longer as cute as she used to be, wearing little skirts and pretending to be a Barbie doll. Instead, she chose a black dress with a Swarovski swan-shaped sweater chain. She finally had the temperament and taste of a socialite. Okay. Hua Xiqian nodded slightly. He did not look at her and walked toward his desk. President Hua, there's a meeting in the afternoon about the new cooperation project with the magnificent Tang Corporation. It'll start at 2:50. The female secretary came in and reported. I know. Hua Xiqian didn't even lift his eyelids. He was absent-minded. Qian, are you in a bad mood? No, you came to my company to look for me? What's the matter? Hua Xiqian was annoyed to see this woman. No, I just went abroad with my mom to relax. I haven't seen you in a long time, so I came to see you. Oh right, this is the wine I brought for you in Thailand. Your rib injury hasn't healed yet, right? The snake poison there is very powerful, Yin Ruoshi said as she took out the medicine she had bought for Hua Xiqian from her Hermes handbag. No, I don't need it. You can go now. Hua Xiqian's face turned cold. Then, he turned on his laptop and looked at the data sent by his secretary. He didn't want to talk to Yin Ruoshi anymore. Qian, that bitch, Immerse is already dead. No one will come looking for trouble with us anymore. My dad has also agreed to our marriage. As long as we get married, it'll be good for your career. I'll be a good wife and mother from now on. I won't care about anything else other than taking care of our child. Really, I'll treat you very, very well. Don't push me away, okay? Yin Ruoshi came to Hua Xiqian humbly, hoping to be by his side. In fact, she knew that Hua Xiqian wasn't a bad person. Otherwise, he wouldn't have saved her last time. No matter what others said, she still loved this man. Chapter 2419. Ruashi, I'm not as good as you think I am. Stop bothering me. I'm not in a mood to deal with you. Huasiqian leaned back in his chair and rubbed his temples. Qian, you're a smart person. Why can't you see that I'm sincere towards you? If I wanted your money or status, I could have found someone else. With my father's current status, it's not like I can't get married, but I like you. I've been following you around for the past few years, no matter what people say about me. I just want to move you. It's been 4 years since your ex-wife, Song Yishur, passed away, and it's been a few days since Mo Shuer's death. Why won't you give me a chance? Yin Ruashi was born a rich heiress, so she had never been so humble and subservient before. She was so anxious that she was about to cry. Huasiqian raised his head and sighed. He walked over and looked down at her. Is 4 years a long time? Yin Ruashi froze. She didn't say anything because she didn't know what Huasiqian was going to say next. If liking someone for a long time is enough to get a response, then Mian should have been mine a long time ago. I knew her before Qin Chu. I liked her for 20 years. 20 years. How many days and nights have I spent? Huasiqian said with a complicated expression on his face. Qian, stop liking Huamin, okay? She won't like you. She already has Qin Chu. Suyu is so good, but she never wavered. If you continue like this, it'll only get harder and harder. Release yourself. Stop tormenting yourself. Yin Ruashi cried when she heard Hua Min's name. Just like how Mo Shuer saw Hua Min as her enemy, there was an insurmountable barrier between every woman and Huasiqian. And that barrier was Hua Min. In Huasiqian's dictionary, the name Hua Min was a curse that drove him to the brink of insanity. Stop talking. I won't change my mind. Huasiqian had already made up his mind. He really didn't want to waste his breath on Yin Ruashi. Qian, but I really like you. I can't let go. I've tried to forget you, but I can't. I can't fall in love with another man. Even if the whole world says you're a bad guy, you're still the best in my heart. Yin Ruashi's face was covered in tears. Actually, she knew that Huasiqian wouldn't change his mind, but she still wanted to say what she wanted to say. Okay. What's so good about me? Huasiqian lowered his head and leaned closer to Yin Ruashi's face. Yin Ruashi was a little scared to be so close to Huasiqian all of a sudden. She looked at Huasiqian's elegant and handsome face with apprehension. Who would have thought that a man like him could turn into a demon and tear people to pieces at any time? Anyway, in my heart, you're the best. You're the best in every way. Yin Ruashi stuttered. She didn't have much confidence. Even if I'm a murderer, do you think I'm a best? Huasiqian's lips curled up into a strange smile. Murderer? Qian, don't talk nonsense. Yin Ruashi's expression changed slightly. If I told you that all the women around me didn't have a good ending, like Song Yishur and Mo Shuer, I even killed a few of the women who slept with me, and I did it in a very cruel way, would you still think I'm the best? Qian, stop talking. I don't believe you. Stop talking. I beg you. After all, Yin Ruashi was still young and hadn't seen much of the world. Therefore, Huasiqian pushed her to the brink of a breakdown. Chapter 2420. You're scared already? Then don't even think about marrying me. You'll be even more scared in the future. I'm not as good as you think. Far from it. Huasiqian straightened his collar, turned around, and left the office. Yin Ruashi's hair stood on end. The look in Huasiqian's eyes just now, and the words he said, was it true, or was it just to scare her and make her back out of the difficult situation? But why didn't it seem like it? There used to be rumors that Huasiqian was the real culprit behind Song Yishur's death. But it had been more than 4 years, and the evidence was long gone. Song Yishur's father was already in prison. No one knew what happened back then. Yin Ruashi looked at the empty office and stood up shakily. Her legs felt weak. She picked up her bag and left listlessly. GK headquarters. President Qin. Was that a call from the headquarters? Qin Chu walked out of the conference room, and Assistant Yang handed Qin Chu his phone. Second uncle. Qin Chu took the phone and chatted with his uncle. After hanging up, Qin Ning called again. It was obvious that the father and daughter were not on the same page. Qin Shu was also in a dilemma. He said a few words and hung up. Qin Shu's second uncle was very decisive. He insisted on holding a wedding for Tang Chuan and Qin Ning in the States. He also wanted Tang Chuan to become an American citizen. Tang Chuan was already very generous when he agreed to be their son-in-law. His second uncle's request was too much for him to accept. Tang Chuan also said that he didn't want to become an American citizen. If the Tang family found out about this betrayal, especially Tang Chuan's father, they would break his legs. After all, no one wanted their son to be kidnapped and become an American citizen. In the eyes of the elders, foreign citizenship was unacceptable. It was considered betrayal, and it was considered forgetting one's ancestors. Therefore, Qin Ning was in a dilemma. She watched as Tang Chuan was kicked out of the house by his father and moved to a hotel. Qin Ning anxiously followed him to a hotel. Qin Shu's second uncle was furious and asked Qin Shu to teach Qin Ning a lesson. Qin Shu hung up the phone and sighed deeply. It was said that even an honest official couldn't solve family problems, not to mention that he wasn't an honest official. "Sir, someone wants to see you without an appointment." The secretary's office's internal line. "Who is it?" Qin Shu asked. She said she's from the Tang Corporation, and she's a middle-aged lady. Qin Shu slightly. Let hers is hers is her. Although Qin Ning didn't cooperate with the Tang family in business and wasn't too familiar with them, she was now engaged to Tang Chuan. They might become in-laws in the future, so it was better not to offend the Tang family. With that thought in mind, he asked his secretary to let the people from Tang Chuan in. The office door was pushed open and a middle-aged lady came in. She was dressed extravagantly and had a bag worth hundreds of thousands in her hand. Her aura was also very strong. After she came in, she sat directly opposite Qin Shu and said with a straight face, "Hello, CEO Qin. I am Tang Chuan's mother." "Nice to meet you, Mrs. Tang." Although Qin Shu already knew her identity, he still had to pretend to be polite. "You know my son, Tang Chuan, don't you?" "Oh, I know him. We often have dinner together." Qin Shu told the truth. "Then you must know about the matter between my son and your cousin, right?" Tang Chuan's mother continued to ask. "Yes, Mrs. Tang, I know. So, your Qin family has made up her mind to kidnap my son and make him your live-in son-in-law." The lady couldn't hold it in any longer. She seemed ready to flip out at any moment. Chapter 24-21. "Mrs. Tang, it's not what you're saying. I think there must be a misunderstanding," Qin Shu replied calmly. "Misunderstanding? Huh? Why do I feel like you're trying to shirk responsibility? Let me put it this way, President Qin. We're both influential people in our city. Our families are well-matched, and my son likes your cousin. I think it's a good marriage, but why do you have to kidnap him? Last time, my son went to the States and disappeared for over a month. His father and I were so scared that we almost had a heart attack. We thought that everything would be fine after he came back, but who knew that he would run away again? Plus, I heard that he's going to stay there for a long time. Don't you think you've crossed the line? Although you're an international corporation, the Tang Corporation isn't to be messed with. We're not bad in terms of money, experience, and family background. How could you force my son to marry into your family and do something so embarrassing? Do you know what people are saying about us? They're saying that my son is a freeloader and that we're going bankrupt, so we're allying with GK. Did you hear what they're saying?" Mrs. Tang said a bunch of things in one breath. She was so angry that her face turned green. She came here with a lot of anger. Unlike last time when she questioned Suyu, Suyu was more familiar with Mrs. Tang and found an excuse to brush her off. However, as the head of the Qin family, Qin Shu had to give her an explanation. "Mrs. Tang, calm down." Qin Shu tried to calm her down. "President Qin, you're a father now. You should understand how parents feel. If your daughter ran away, wouldn't you be upset? You should put yourself in my shoes," Mrs. Tang said bluntly. Qin Shu wasn't happy to hear this. Why did she have to use his daughter as an example? Therefore, Mr. Qin replied to Mrs. Tang with a lot of anger, "My daughter would never do something like that. That's how she was raised." "So you're saying that our family doesn't have a good upbringing?" Mrs. Tang was about to explode when she heard this. Mrs. Tang, I understand how you feel. If there's anything, we can discuss it. Don't you think it's a bit inappropriate to use my daughter as an example? Mr. Qin, who was a slave to his daughter, couldn't accept that his daughter was being used as an example. Not to mention Mrs. Tang, even Madam President couldn't do it. Absolutely not. Oh, now I can't even make an analogy. If you can't even stand it, then why don't you tell me that your girl kidnapped my son? If your family has a good upbringing, you wouldn't just run away with a man, right? Mrs. Tang looked at Qin Chu angrily. My sister, Qin Ning, grew up in the States, so it's normal for her to be different from the girls in our country. Mr. Qin was protective of his sister again. Mrs. Tang almost choked on her own breath. President Qin, if you talk like this, are you trying to make things difficult for the Tang family? Mrs. Tang was furious. No, I'm just stating a fact. Ning was indeed rude in her actions, but since they both like each other, I think we should give them some time. If they really want to talk about marriage, then it's not too late to talk about this. If one day they realize that they're not suitable for each other, then it's not impossible for them to break up. I think, Mrs. Tang, you're thinking too much. Why bother? Qin Chu said faintly as he looked at the middle-aged woman calmly. Although Mrs. Tang was angry, she realized that she didn't know what to say. Wasn't Qin Chu a bit too powerful? Even if you're right, then let's talk about something else. I want my son back immediately. President Qin, please tell your family to let him go as soon as possible. Mrs. Tang ordered domineeringly. Chapter 24-22. Mrs. Tang, Tang Chuan's legs are his own. He can come back at any time. Qin Ning didn't kidnap him. You can call the police yourself. Why do you have to call me? I don't think it's within my jurisdiction. After all, he's not my son, Mr. Qin said viciously. Mrs. Tang almost fell to the ground and foamed at the mouth. Didn't he just say that his daughter would grow up and run away with someone else? It was just a metaphor. This man was so vengeful that he didn't even want to have a pleasant conversation with her anymore. President Qin, your question is unnecessary. If I could find him myself, I wouldn't need you. Now he's not even answering my calls. I'm starting to suspect that the girl really put him under house arrest, Mrs. Tang said impolitely. Then you can call the police. The U.S. is a fair place. If you think your son was kidnapped and imprisoned, you can sue him. Why waste my time here? Mrs. Tang was so angry that she couldn't speak. I'm sorry. I still have work to do. See you later. Qin Chu looked down at the files. Mrs. Tang clenched her fists and turned to leave. She was very unhappy. Although Su Yu was afraid of her and gave in to her, Mr. Qin didn't give him any face at all. That night, when they returned to South Hill Manor, Qin Chu brought up the incident at dinner. Humin almost burst out laughing. Chu, you're too much. After all, you're going to be in-laws. Why do you have to be so hostile? Mr. Qin tried to persuade him. Dad, you don't know. He's a slave to his daughter. You can't say anything bad about his daughter in front of him. Otherwise, you'll piss him off. Mrs. Tang, why did you bring up our daughter? I don't like it. Humin laughed. Now you understand me, right? Qin Chu glanced at Humin faintly. Daddy, is Annie really getting married? What's going on? Isn't it a bit too impulsive? Little Bean asked as she ate a red bean bun. Your second grandpa was the one who suggested marriage, not your little aunt, Qin Chu replied. What exactly did you discuss? What did your second uncle think? Mr. Qin asked. What can I do if the father and daughter don't come to an agreement? Qin Chu was also helpless. Then what should we do now? What about the Cold War? Who are they? Huo Mian asked curiously. No, Ning Ning and Tang Chuan moved out and stayed in a hotel. It's that serious? Huo Min was a little surprised. At this time, Little Bean interrupted again. I think Uncle Tang wants to have sex with Annie. No, he wants her to have sex with him. Then, Annie will be able to make her own decisions. Huh? Don't talk nonsense. Huo Min knocked Little Bean's head with his chopsticks. Little Bean stuck out her tongue. Little Bean, why aren't you talking? Is there something on your mind? Huo Min found it strange that Little Bean didn't participate in the conversation. Mommy, today I saw. Little Bean was about to say Hua Xiqian's name when she stopped. She didn't want her grandparents to worry, so she swallowed her words. Who did you see? Humin asked curiously. No, I saw an annoying guy. Little Bean, and I scolded him. Little Bean knew that she couldn't tell Huasiqian in front of her grandparents. She had to tell her mommy in private. So, she nodded and said half-heartedly, Yeah, he's annoying. He's so annoying. That bastard. Little Bean, don't swear. What did Mommy tell you? Huamin's face darkened. I'm sorry, Mommy. I didn't mean it. Little Bean immediately apologized. Little Bean, are you still buying the Hua Corporation's shares? Qin Shu asked casually. Yes, Daddy. Oh, then you can sell them all in the next 2 days. Qin Shu was still calm, as if he was talking about something boring. Because the Hua Corporation is going to do something big soon, Qin Shu said elegantly as he put a piece of vegetable on his plate. Chapter 24-23. If that's the case, then I'm really going to sell it. I don't want it to end up in my hands. Pudding continued to eat calmly. Daddy, is your information accurate? Don't lie to my sister. Pudding looked at Qin Shu suspiciously. Qin Shu put down his chopsticks and pinched Pudding's cheeks lovingly. How dare you doubt Daddy? When have I ever lied? Do you think I'd tell you something that's not reliable? Qin Shu smiled. That's hard to say. Maybe Daddy doesn't want my sister to invest in the stock market and purposely gave her fake information to trick her. Pudding's little brain worked fast. Qin Shu, do you think Daddy is as unfaithful as you? Pudding looked at Pudding with disdain and turned to go to the bathroom. Hey, Qin Zhao Zhao, do you have a conscience? I'm doing this for your own good. How could you betray me? Pudding was unwilling. Huamin looked at the two clowns, and all his worries disappeared. Ever since she became a mother, she wasn't as sentimental as before. Most importantly, she didn't have time to think about those useless things. These two devils could turn the house upside down. Listening to them bicker every day was as interesting as listening to a crosstalk. The next morning, as soon as the stock market opened, Pudding directly transferred money into her account and bought all the shares of the whole corporation and its subsidiaries. She made a lot of money. She bought the shares when the whole corporation was in bad news, so it was a good deal. When she sold the shares, the price was still too high. If her daddy didn't remind her, she would have continued to observe for a while. However, since her daddy said that yesterday, it meant that the whole corporation was in trouble. After selling the shares, Pudding picked up an apple and nibbled on it. She turned on the TV and watched the financial news. She was waiting for the whole corporation to fall. Pudding had never been interested in the stock market. Therefore, after breakfast, she ran around the garden with the maid and played with the flowers and plants. As expected, at 10 o'clock, the whole corporation was in bad news. Pudding, who was about to fall asleep, suddenly became energetic. On the TV, the female host quickly introduced, according to the latest news, the whole corporation has been embroiled in a major scandal today. Their deputy finance director, Du Zhili, has been accused of embezzling public funds and absconding with the funds. It is said that a portion of the embezzled funds is from a project with the Shun Corporation. A conservative estimate is 300 million. The whole corporation CEO, Huasiqian, has yet to respond. We will continue to monitor this matter. Wow, running away with your shoes? Interesting. Daddy was right. It's amazing. Pudding was in a good mood as she chewed on an apple. In less than an hour after the negative news was released, the whole corporation's stock price plummeted. Some shareholders who couldn't stand losing money went to the whole corporation building to cause trouble. But Huasiqian didn't show up. Huasiqian, bastard. Capitalist vampire, come out. What kind of shitty company is this? We only bought your shares because you bragged so much. Now that something like this has happened, we've lost everything. Give us back our money. If you don't give us an explanation today, I'll die in front of your company. A bald, middle-aged man in his 50s roared. Yes, we'll fight to the death. Huasiqian, come out and give us an explanation. Huasiqian, you bastard. How dare you cheat us out of our hard-earned money? What kind of shitty company is this? Just close it down. The voices of the unruly shareholders were getting louder and louder. Chapter 24-24. A group of middle-aged women follow behind him, holding up a banner that read, Evil capitalists, The Hua Corporation eats people whole without spitting out their bones. At the same time, a large number of media outlets reported on the incident. Inside the president's office at the Hua Corporation, President Hua, what do we do now? Hua Xiqian's assistant was also worried. Hua Xiqian's face was gloomy, but he didn't say anything. His people had just found out that bastard Du Zhili had left the country. It would have been easier to find him anywhere else, but he had to go to the Golden Triangle, a place where all kinds of people lived. It was too difficult to find someone. Du Zhili had been at the whole corporation for a long time, so he was surprised by the sudden news. 300 million yuan wasn't a lot to him. It was just a drop in the ocean. However, what was bad was the reaction of society and shareholders after the news was exposed. Also, the whole corporation stock market was in turmoil. President Hua, do you think Qin Chu hired someone to do this? After all, he's always been our nemesis. Maybe he bribed Du Zhili to set us up. What about Du Zhili's family? Hua Xiqian asked with a cold expression. They all ran away. His house is empty. He doesn't have any money in his bank account, and he sold his house and shops. It seems like this was planned long ago. President Hua, we must have been set up. This isn't a coincidence. Of course I know this isn't a coincidence. Hua Xiqian's face was gloomy. What do we do now? Those troublemakers outside are still causing trouble. It's not good for us. Should we chase them away? No need. They're just a bunch of people. They can't do anything. Hua Xiqian waved his hand. Hua Xiqian was in a bad mood, but he wasn't as worried as he thought he would be. After all, he was a man who had seen the world. Inside the Hilton restaurant in Sea City, Hui Yanyan was wearing a fiery red evening gown. Her hair was tied up in a bun as she sat across from Shen Mingxi. I chose this for you. Do you like it? Shen Mingxi pushed over a small box. It was Dior's logo. Hui Yanyan smiled shyly. What's that? Open it and have a look. Hui Yanyan slowly opened the box. Inside was a pair of pearl earrings. They were white and had a lace pattern. They were very beautiful. So cute. I heard that it's a limited edition of the new season. I think it suits you. Thank you, Mingxi. Hui Yanyan smiled. Let me help you put on, Shen Mingxi said as he walked over and carefully put the pearl earrings on Hui Yanyan's neck. Does it hurt? Shen Mingxi asked softly. It doesn't hurt. I've had my ears pierced for many years. I don't feel anything anymore. You don't have to be so nervous. Hui Yanyan bit her lip and smiled. Have you read the news about the whole corporation? Shen Mingxi suddenly asked her after he returned to his seat. Is it about the scandal that was exposed today? Huamin asked Yanyan. Yeah, I saw it. Your company lost a lot of money, right? I heard that the money that the person took was from your company. Hui Yanyan asked with concern. That's not important. What's important is that Hua Xiqian is starting to run out of luck. Shen Mingxi said word by word. Hui Yanyan didn't say anything. She didn't know what Shen Mingxi was trying to say. Was he testing her or something else? Yanyan, I know you hate Hua Xiqian. I'll avenge you, Shen Mingxi suddenly said affectionately as he looked at Hui Yanyan. Hui Yanyan was slightly stunned. She even felt a little nervous. She had never mentioned anything about revenge and had always been careful around him. How'd he find out? Did someone tell him? Chapter 24-25. Mingxi, the truth is Hui Yanyan paused in the middle of her sentence. She had mixed feelings. You don't have to say it, I understand. I know you've always hated me, and I know you've been looking for a chance to get revenge. But Yanyan, I don't believe that you got close to me and came back to me just to use me. Mingxi, let me finish. Shen Mingxi interrupted Hui Yanyan. Then he continued. In the past, I was too preoccupied with my own feelings and neglected you. Now that I think about it, when two people are together, they need to understand, tolerate, and be considerate of each other. No matter what other people say, you and Tian have brought me a lot of happiness and warmth. You made me feel like a family. The truth is, even without you, Wei Ying and I would have gotten a divorce. The marriage between our families was a mistake. Luckily, it's not too late to regret it now. I still have a chance to take care of you. So, from now on, your lover is my enemy. I'll help you deal with Hua Xiqian. Once I deal with him, I'll propose to you. I'll let you officially marry into the Shun family, instead of being called a shameless homewrecker. Shen Mingxi rarely said so much at once. So, Hui Yanyan was really touched after hearing what he said. Mingxi, you don't have to do this. You've already been so good to me. Hui Yanyan felt a little guilty. She liked Shun Mingxi, but she was also making use of him. After Hua Xiqian died, she wanted Hua Xiqian to die as soon as possible so that she could get her revenge. Maybe she was too anxious and gave herself away, and Shen Mingxi saw through her. That was why they had this conversation today. No, it's not enough. I'll treat you, and Tiantian, even better. Tiantian isn't my daughter, but I'll treat her like my own. I won't let you and Tiantian be bullied. Leave Hua Xiqian to me. Just wait for my good news. Hui Yanyan had a complicated expression on her face. Just as she was about to say something, Shun Mingxi's phone rang. Have you arrived? Very good. I'll get someone to transfer the rest of the money to you. I hope you'll keep your promise and never appear in the country again. Don't get caught by Hua Xiqian. Otherwise, even the gods won't be able to save you. Shen Mingxi hung up after he finished speaking. He picked up his phone and sent a text message to his trusted subordinate. Send the rest of the money to Du Zhili. Although he had edited the text, Hui Yanyan could still pick up some clues from his words. After putting down the phone, Shun Mingxi smiled at Hui Yanyan. How are the dishes today? Mingxi, did you do this to the whole corporation? Hui Yanyan finally understood why Shen Mingxi had said so much. It turned out that he had already begun to make his move. Furthermore, he had already given Hua Xiqian a heads up from the very beginning. Yes, Shen Mingxi didn't deny it and nodded. Mingxi, revenge is my own business. I don't want to drag you into this. Even if I did use you, I only used your money and your connections. I didn't want to drag you into this. Hui Yanyan said anxiously. It's okay. I don't care, Shen Mingxi said with his head lowered. But I care. I can't do that. You've been so good to me. I can't put you in danger. You don't know what kind of person Hua Xiqian is. If he finds out what you're doing, he won't let you go. Your life could be in danger at any time. He'll kill you, Hui Yanyan said anxiously. Chapter 24-26. It won't be that easy. Yanyan, I'm not useless. Don't think of me as a weakling. I know what kind of person Hua Xiqian is. He's someone that even Qin Chu doesn't dare to touch. It's not that simple. I met with Huamin in private, and she told me that Hua Xiqian has someone even more powerful behind him. He's not someone we can mess with. Hui Yanyan warned. So what? Bring it on. Since I promised to avenge you, I won't back down. Don't worry. But Hui Yanyan frowned and was about to say something when Shun Mingxi interrupted her. Yanyan, let's eat. The food's getting cold. Hua Yanyan remained silent, but her heart was heavy. She didn't want to get Shen Mingxi involved, but it was too late. The whole corporation's incident was getting out of hand. At 6 p.m., Hua Xiqian held a press conference at a 5-star hotel and gave a positive response to the incident. Hua Xiqian stopped being so high-profile and changed into a dark gray suit instead of a brightly colored suit. He looked a little more composed than usual. Mr. Hua, about what happened this afternoon, how is your company going to deal with it? Did Du Zhili do what he did, or did he benefit from you? Please answer. The reporter's first question was extremely sharp. Hua Xiqian wasn't nervous at all. In fact, he looked extremely relaxed. He lowered his head and leaned closer to the microphone. To be honest, Du Zhili has been with the whole corporation for many years. He was promoted by my father when he was still alive. He's been with us for 3 generations. I didn't expect him to do something like this. I'm deeply shocked and heartbroken by the outcome. President Hua, are you saying that you're not involved in this? Everyone is saying that you're going to clear your name? Another reporter asked expressionlessly. My friend from the media, that's a little funny. First of all, I'm not a bad person, so why would I clear my name? Plus, I'm not trying to clear my name. I'm just stating the truth. If I knew about this beforehand, I wouldn't have let it happen. After all, the whole corporation lost 5 billion yuan in just a few hours. That's my money. I don't need to be stupid enough to ruin my own family's wealth, right? Hua Xiqian asked the reporter. The reporter was speechless. Mr. Hua, why did Du Zhili suddenly do this? As far as I know, the whole corporation pays him quite well. As the deputy director of finance, he makes $1,000,000 a year. His family is well off, so he wouldn't do something like this, another reporter asked. We're also investigating the reason. So far, we just found out that he took the opportunity of a business trip to Singapore's Golden Sands Casino a week ago and lost 180 million yuan. So, I think it has something to do with this. After all, the money he lost couldn't have been his own. Recently, he took over a project with the Shun Corporation, so he had a way to withdraw the project funds. As for how he did it, whether he copied my card or something else, we'll have to wait for the final result from the police. We've already called the police. We hope that Du Zhili can be arrested as soon as possible so that he can give our company and everyone an explanation. Mr. Hua, what do you plan to do with the Shun Corporation? Will you continue working with them? Another reporter asked. President Hua, have some water. The female secretary behind him gently handed him a bottle of water. Chapter 24-27. Okay, thank you. Hua Xiqian apologized to the female secretary in a gentlemanly manner. The audience in front of the TV saw this and praised Hua Xiqian for his manners. Hua Xiqian took the bottle of water but didn't take a sip. He just casually placed it beside his hand. Then he said righteously, as for our business partner, the Shun Corporation, we will definitely give them an explanation. I will use my personal fortune to compensate them for the money that Du Zhili stole from the Shun Corporation. If President Shun is willing, I hope this partnership can continue. After all, our company values this partnership very much, and it is also our first partnership with the Shun Corporation. I hope this outcome will satisfy the Shun Corporation. Surprisingly, Hua Xiqian was unexpectedly generous. He was actually willing to pay out of his own pocket. This was indeed a bit unusual. In front of the TV, Hua Yinyan coldly looked at Hua Xiqian's face. She looked at the bottle of water that he took, but didn't drink and sneered. As expected, he is very vigilant. Mo Shui even said that it was easy to drug him. How naive. He is such a suspicious person. Why would he casually drink something from someone else? Luckily, she wasn't stupid enough to bribe the female secretary. Otherwise, if the water was taken away for inspection, wouldn't she have left evidence that could be used against her? Mr. Hua, when the market opens tomorrow, will the Hua Corporation's stock continue to fall? Does your company have any plans? We will hold a shareholders' meeting tonight and think of a solution with all the shareholders. Please don't be impatient. I believe that we will recover quickly. After all, the Hua Corporation has always been a reputable company. Please give us some time to properly deal with this matter. Mr. Hua, this time, will Mayor Yin help your company this time? I heard that you and Miss Yin have a close relationship. It is widely rumored that you and Miss Yin are in a relationship. People have even witnessed Miss Yin entering and leaving your private mansion late at night. What do you think about this? Today's questions are about business. Our president Hua will not answer personal questions. Please be careful. Hua Xiqian's assistant stepped forward to stop the reporters. Hua Xiqian looked at his watch and stood up with a smile. Dear friends from the media, that's all for today. Thank you for coming. I've ordered some food and drinks at Peony Hall as a token of appreciation. Please help yourselves. President Hua has something to do, so he'll have to leave first. Hua Xiqian nodded and left the hotel with a smile. South Hill Manor. Qin Shu, Huamin, and the twins were watching TV while eating fruits and chips. This big bad guy is such a hypocrite. He's obviously unhappy, but he's still trying to make it sound so nice. What's that called again? Right, a beast in human clothing. Little being cursed. You're insulting beasts, okay? Pudding corrected her. Haha, sis, you're the best. You win. Little Bean looked up and laughed. Honey, did you do this? Huamin asked casually as he ate the orange. Wasn't me, huh? Not Daddy. Then how did you know something was going to happen to the whole corporation? Pudding was confused. I planted spies in Hua Xiqian's company. According to my people, Du Zhili has been acting strangely lately. I asked someone to investigate and found out that he had already transferred all of his assets. So, I suspect that he's on the run. Qin Shu replied calmly. Wow, Daddy, do you have to be so smart? How did you do that? Pudding was completely impressed. I have a feeling that someone is even more anxious than us to deal with Huasiqian. Just wait and see. The whole corporation will continue to suffer. Chin Chu's lips twitched. Chapter 24-28. Honey, what else do you know? Huamin realized that Mr. Chin had been acting all mysterious lately. It won't be fun if I tell you. Just wait and see. Chin Chu began to sell the information. This made Huamin even more curious. Hua Corporation headquarters. It was already 8 p.m. when Huasiqian walked out of the conference room with a dark expression. The shareholders didn't even dare to breathe loudly. No one dared to go against his decision. On the surface, it looked like a discussion, but in reality, Huasiqian was furious and scolded them to death. Then, he walked into his office with a dark expression. Just then, his confidant knocked on the door and walked in. How is it? Did you find the person? Boss, Du Zhili is too smart. I don't know how he escaped from our pursuit. We lost track of him after he entered the Golden Triangle. The Golden Triangle is so big, and there are so many different forces. It's not easy to find him. Even if we did find him, we wouldn't be able to get the money back. He probably lost it all. Bastard. I'm not looking for him to get the money back. 300 million isn't worth my effort. I just want to know who told Du Zhili to do this. Huasiqian put his hands on his hips and looked angry. Wasn't it Chin Chu? Who else could it be? Of course not. I know Chin Chu quite well. He doesn't do anything easily, and if he does, it's fatal. He wouldn't play games with me that are a waste of time and intelligence. Boss, are you saying that other than Chin Chu, there's someone else who wants to deal with us? His subordinate was also confused. I have a lot of enemies, but there's someone who wants to kill me. Huasiqian didn't continue. However, he seemed to have guessed the gist of it. Suyu had been keeping a low profile lately. Other than going to work and getting off work, he would go back to the Su family for dinner. He suddenly became an obedient child. Wei Liao was busy going on vacation with his wife and children, and Tang Chuan was busy eloping. Therefore, once he was free, he would feel quite lonely. Suyu, who had nowhere else to go, had only 3 options: the company, the private villa, and the Su family's old mansion. Dinner table. You seem to be very free these days. Aren't you busy at work? Grandpa suddenly asked. I'm not very busy. All the artists have their own jobs, and the concerts are handled by a team. I can basically command them remotely over the phone. Suyu answered his grandfather's question while eating a steamed bun. Really? That's a good thing. Since that's the case, come with me when Grandpa goes to Jingdu for a meeting next week. Don't you have so many guards? Why do you need me? Suyu curled his lips. How can a guard be the same as you? Are you my grandson? Grandpa Lord Su snorted. I don't think it's as simple as accompanying you. Tell me, which old comrade or subordinate's granddaughter are you going to introduce to me this time? Suyu seemed to have guessed his grandfather's thoughts. Grandpa Lord Su's face was full of awkwardness. He raised his chopsticks and slapped Suyu. You brat. Dad, I told you, he's getting more and more out of hand. He was easier to control when he was younger. Mr. Su glanced at his son and said coldly, You come with Grandpa. Treat it as a vacation. Mrs. Su was also very persuasive. Mom, don't mess around. A vacation to Jingdu? That place. I've been there hundreds of times since I was young, okay? What's there to vacation about? You guys, don't waste your time. If you want to introduce someone to me on a blind date, why don't you just bring her here to meet us? So you said slowly, You mean you agree to the blind date? Mrs. Su was overjoyed. Chapter 24-29. Yeah, I agree to the blind date. Otherwise, you won't be able to explain it to your friends, right? I'll definitely give you face. After all, we're all family. Suyu was surprisingly easy to talk to. Lady Su almost suspected that he wasn't her biological son. Are you serious? Master Lord Su also didn't believe it and confirmed it again. Yeah, I agreed to the blind date, so I definitely won't go back on my word. Grandpa, don't you know me? Although I've been naughty since I was young, I won't go back on my words. Hearing Su Yu's words, Master Lord Su was overjoyed. Aya, that's great. Our efforts didn't go to waste. In a few days, I'll ask that girl to come over and meet you. If you like her, we'll get engaged first. Then, we'll pick a date to get married. That way, the Sue family will be able to settle one of our biggest worries. When I meet your grandmother and great-grandfather in the afterlife, I'll be able to answer to them. Grandpa Sue held a small wine glass in his hand. Suyu paused, then raised his hand to rub his nose and coughed lightly. Ahem, Grandpa, I only agreed to meet you, but I didn't say what happened. Did you misunderstand me? What do you mean by that? Master Lord Sue's face instantly darkened. Mrs. Sue and Mr. Sue also looked at Suyu with a puzzled expression. Seeing this, Suyu put down his chopsticks and stopped eating. He looked around at his 3 closest relatives and said, Grandpa, Dad, Mom, I know what you're thinking. Recently, there have been rumors saying that I'm gay. Although it's funny, it's still damaging to the Sue family's reputation. Grandpa, you're so old-fashioned. Because of my personal reasons, I'm really sorry for the negative impact on our family. So I've thought it through. Let's each take a step back. I'll agree to all the blind dates you've arranged, but if the results aren't good, you can't blame me, okay? What are you talking about? Then wouldn't we have done all this for nothing? You're saying that even if we arranged 99 blind dates for you, you won't agree, right? Mr. Sue seemed to understand his son's words. Suyu scratched his head and didn't say anything. Brat, do you really think so? Master Lord Sue was a little angry. Grandpa, this kind of thing can't be rushed. Really, let's not be too stubborn, okay? Agreeing to meet the person on the blind date is already the best I can do. Bullshit. Are you going on a blind date, or are we going on a blind date? Are you looking for a wife, or are we looking for a wife? Master Lord Sue glared at his grandson angrily. However, Suyu said seriously, if you want to see the old lady, I have no objections. Master Lord Sue was so angry that he was speechless. Suyu, stop messing around. How can you talk to your grandfather like that? Mr. Sue threw his chopsticks down in anger. Oh, right. I still have something to do at the company, so I'll leave first. You guys take your time. Seeing that the atmosphere was not right, Suyu did not dare to stay any longer. He found a reason and left immediately. Hey, you. Mrs. Sue looked at her son's back reluctantly. After walking out of the house, Suyu got into his black Lamborghini and sighed slightly. He thought that he would go to work and come home for dinner, but it turned out like this. This was really not the result he wanted. Russia, in a manor outside of Moscow, afraid that Lu Yin would run away, Xiao Fei would put a flower fragrance in her room every day that could make people feel weak all over. In the blink of an eye, Lu Yin had been trapped here for more than 5 days. Someone come quickly, Lu Yin yelled impatiently. A young lady, what are your orders? The butler was still polite. Where's Xiao Fei? Tell him to come see me. A young lady, the young master. The butler seemed to want to say something when he mentioned Xiao Fei. Chapter 24:30. What's wrong with Psycho Xiao? Lu Yin asked the butler, slightly taken aback. Young master and old master don't seem to be on good terms lately, and he doesn't seem to be in a good mood. Is it because of me? Lu Yin wasn't someone who thought too highly of herself. She always knew that Xiao Fei was the most favored son of the Qiao family and never had any conflicts with his father. Now that he was on bad terms with his father, it must be because of her. Ever since she got the Ghost One and blew up Ian's Indonesia branch, it caused a series of upheavals. Those who wanted to kill her didn't dare to enter Russia to arrest her. However, all of them were eyeing her covetously. The Qiao family was in an awkward position. After all, they were in the underworld and couldn't afford to offend so many underworld gangs, terrorist organizations, and the Indonesian government just to protect a woman. Therefore, it was inevitable that Xiao Fei and his father would have conflicts. The butler didn't know what to say and could only stutter. I'll go check on him. Then, Lu Yin forced herself to walk out. A young lady, you should wait here. The butler seemed to want to stop Lu Yin. Don't stop me. I've never been a delicate flower in a greenhouse. I was born a tough woman. I don't need to be protected as much as you think. Since this happened because of me, I should solve it. Everyone get out of my way. Although she couldn't exert any strength, Lu Yin was still domineering. After she said that, No one dared to stop her, and they all made way for her. Xiao Fei's manor wasn't far from the main manor. Lu Yin wore a black windbreaker, and her long hair was loose. Her face was slightly pale. She walked very slowly, but she was very persistent. Since everyone here knew Lu Yin, no one dared to stop her and only nodded to greet her. "Good morning, a young lady. Good morning, Miss Yin." Lu Yin didn't say anything. Her face was serious as she walked into the main hall of the main manor. She happened to overhear a few family members having a meeting, including Xiao Fei, Xiao Fei's father, and Xiao Fei's second brother, Xiao Nan. "Fei, father is doing this for the sake of our family. You have to understand, Lu Yin is used to being fearless and has been hunted since she was young. She and her father have nothing to lose and don't care about life and death. However, the Qiao family is different. Grandpa's empire can't be destroyed in our hands. So, you have to consider the big picture," Xiao Nan said slowly. "No matter what, I won't hand Yin over." Xiao Fei seemed determined. "I'm not asking you to give her away. After all, the two of you were together once, and the Qiao family won't be so heartless. I just want you to leave her alone, or else the Qiao family will be implicated sooner or later. As for your engagement, I think it's better to listen to father and cancel it first. Then, I'll help you find someone else." With your current status, you can choose any girl in the world. Why do you only love Lu Yin? That woman doesn't treat you well? Fei, why are you doing this? Xiao Nan's words were so harsh that Xiao Fei's face immediately turned cold. "I'll take care of my own business." "It's none of your business." Xiao Fei glared at Xiao Nan coldly. "If you weren't my brother, I wouldn't care about you. Don't be so ungrateful." Xiao Nan mocked. "Really? Do you really think of me as your brother?" Xiao Fei looked at Xiao Nan with a sharp gaze, his words full of hidden meaning. The two men were at each other's throats, and the atmosphere was extremely tense. Chapter 2431. Haha. Fei, what do you mean by that? Xiao Nan chuckled as he looked at him. However, Xiao Fei's attitude was as cold as an iceberg. "All right, stop arguing. Fei, your brother, has a point. Even though I like Yin, I can't let her stay. Ian alone is enough of a headache for us, and we can't make an enemy out of the Indonesian government. Otherwise, we won't be able to do business in the South. It's decided then. If you don't want her to leave, I'll talk to her. I'm sure she's smart enough to understand what I mean and our situation," Xiao Fei's father said coldly. Although Lu Yin didn't care about this, she didn't want to stay either. However, seeing Xiao Fei being scolded by his brother and father for protecting her still made her feel bad. At this moment, she walked over with a smile. "Uncle Xiao." Xiao Fei's father and brother were slightly surprised. Xiao Fei looked at her in surprise. "Yin, why are you here?" Lu Yin looked at Xiao Fei with a complicated expression. However, she didn't say anything. Instead, she looked at Xiao Fei's father and said, "Uncle Xiao, thank you for taking me in for so long. I caused this mess, so I'll deal with it myself. I was the one who blew up Ian's base. The Indonesian government wants to kill me. It has nothing to do with the Qiao family. You don't have to protect me. I don't want to drag you down with me, so I'll leave in a bit. Don't worry, there's no need to make things difficult for Xiao Fei. Yin, don't blame Uncle Xiao for being heartless. Speaking of which, your father and I are quite close, and he's helped me a lot over the years. However, Fei almost died when he tried to save you last time. The Qiao family tried our best. This time, the people you've offended are too powerful for us to handle. So, I can only ask you to leave now. I hope you can understand my feelings as the head of the family, the leader of the underworld, and as a father. After all, he was an influential figure, so his words were watertight. He made it sound like he was in a difficult position and had a lot of difficulties. What he meant was that he had done everything he could for Lu Yin and her father. Uncle Xiao, tomorrow, I won't make things difficult for you. I will remember the Qiao family's kindness to me. No, you can't leave. I won't allow it. Xiao Fei stared at Lu Yin with a cold face. Since things have come to this point, let's settle it once and for all. Today, I'm officially breaking off the engagement with you. Uncle Qiao is here, so he can be our witness. From now on, we have nothing to do with each other. Since we're no longer engaged, Qiao Fei, you have no reason to care about me anymore." Then, Lu Yin turned around and left. But Qiao Fei grabbed her arm tightly. "Psycho Qiao, let go of my hand, or else I'm going to turn on you." Lu Yin felt like she had already said what she wanted to say. If she couldn't get out of here today and continue to stay in the Qiao family, she would lose all face and dignity. So, for the sake of her pride, she decided to leave. However, Qiao Fei did not let her go. Instead, he turned to his father and said, "Father, can't you tolerate Yin? It's not that I can't tolerate it. It's just..." Qiao Fei's father was a little embarrassed by his son's question. "Then, I'll take Yin and leave." Then, Qiao Fei held Lu Yan's hand tightly and walked out. Qiao Fei's father was furious. "Stop right there. Qiao Fei, what are you doing?" Lu Yan was also confused. Chapter 2432. Yin, I'll go with you. Qiao Fei looked at Lu Yan's beautiful face calmly. Lu Yan was dumbfounded. She didn't expect Qiao Fei, who always listened to his father, to make such a shocking decision. On the other hand, Qiao Fei's father didn't expect his son to do this either. "Qiao Fei, what are you doing?" Qiao Fei's father was a little angry and his tone was stern. "I'm not doing anything. You know how important Lu Yin is to me, but you still want to push her out at a time like this. Of course, I don't feel good about it, so I have to go with her." Qiao Fei wasn't a talkative person, but everyone in the Qiao family knew that he took a bullet for Lu Yin last time. Even the cleaner knew how much he liked his fiancée. How could his father not feel bad when he did that? "Your father is doing this for your own good. Fei, don't be so immature." Qiao Nin seemed to be speaking up for Qiao Fei, but his words were full of exaggeration, which made their father even angrier. "Fei, as the young master of the Qiao family, I thought you had a bigger picture. I didn't think you would do this for a woman." Qiao Fei's father glanced at Lu Yin next to Qiao Fei. He didn't say anything else, but his meaning was obvious. Qiao Fei tightened his grip on Lu Yan's hand and smirked. "Father, you're wrong about me. I've never been a big-picture person. In my heart, there's only one Lu Yin." Qiao Fei's words shocked the three of them. His father, his second brother, and the woman beside him named Lu Yin. Qiao Fei was similar to Qin Shu in that he wasn't a sweet talker. However, the difference was that although Qin Shu didn't say it to others, he would say it to Huamin. Qiao Fei, on the other hand, was very shy when he was with Lu Yin. Now that he said in front of his father and brother that there was only one Lu Yin in his heart, Lu Yin was surprised and happy. She was even a little touched. "Do you know what it means for you to leave this house today?" Qiao Fei's father gripped the armrest of the golden chair tightly. The veins on his face bulged as he tried to exert the last bit of pressure on Qiao Fei. Qiao Nin took the opportunity to add fuel to the fire and said, "Fei Fei, you have to calm down. This is not a joke. There's so many people watching. How can you just leave like this? Betraying the family?" Qiao Fei's father's face darkened when he heard the words "betray the family." "Qiao Fei, listen to me." Lu Yin was anxious. She knew how serious the situation was, so she tried to persuade him. Unexpectedly, Qiao Fei did not give her a chance to speak and interrupted her directly. "Xiao Yin, don't say anything. Let me finish talking to my father." Then, Qiao Fei looked up at his father and said calmly, "I know that after I leave today, it means that whether I live or die, I have nothing to do with the Qiao family. I won't implicate the family, and I won't implicate you, father. So, you don't have to care about whether I live or die." Qiao Fei said slowly. "Bastard, say that again." Hearing his son's words, Qiao Fei's father flew into a rage. He slammed the chair and stood up angrily. A subtle smile appeared on Qiao Nan's face. Lu Yin was also very nervous. This wasn't the result she wanted. Chapter 2433. I don't want to repeat myself, or else you'll get even angrier. I've said what I wanted to say, so let's leave it at that. Then, Qiao Fei smiled gently at Lu Yin. "Yin, let's go." Then, Xiao Fei held Lu Yan's hand and walked out of the main hall, or rather, out of the Qiao family's house. Fei, don't go, come back. Xiao Nim was still pretending to ask him to stay. Don't call him, let him go. If he's so capable, then don't come back. Let's see how long he can last without our family's protection. Xiao Fei's father was also angry and wouldn't ask his son to stay. When Xiao Fei left home, the whole family was in an uproar. In their eyes, Xiao Fei was the most likely candidate to become the family's heir. The Qiao family had 3 sons. The eldest, Qiao Mo, was in South America most of the time. He had his own power and rarely came back. Back then, his relationship with his father was strained because of a woman. The second brother, Xiao Nan, had always been in the Qiao family and helped with the family business. However, he was too sly and cunning. He was even a little vicious and didn't leave any room for negotiation. In the family, he wasn't liked by many. Of course, Xiao Nan wasn't liked by the old man either. However, the third young master, who was always quiet, was the old man's favorite. He had traveled extensively with him since he was young and had seen many big scenes. He was smart. He was reliable, meticulous, and most importantly, strong. Whether it was barehanded combat or shooting, he was a top-notch expert. Last time, he was so well planned by Ian that an ordinary person would have died 100 times. However, it was a miracle that Xiao Fei could survive after being shot 5 times. Of course, Qin Shu's medical skills were also very good. Otherwise, Xiao Fei wouldn't be where he was today. Inside the Moscow airport, Xiao Fei, why were you so impulsive? Lu Yan was still in shock. The two waited in the VIP lounge for the plane to leave. Unlike other people who eloped, they didn't bring anything. Xiao Fei didn't even bring his phone. Lu Yan, on the other hand, simply packed her luggage. She carried a black bag with some passports and US dollars inside. Which of you saw me being impulsive? Xiao Fei crossed his arms and looked at Lu Yan calmly. I don't think it's appropriate for you to fight with your father. Lu Yan said helplessly. That's my business. You don't have to be nervous. Come on. You're like this because of me. How can I not be nervous? Lu Yan rolled her eyes. Okay, let's stop talking about this. Let's think about where to go. Xiao Fei didn't want to talk about this with Lu Yan and changed the topic. You can't go anywhere. Look at you. You don't even have a passport. How can you go abroad? Lu Yan looked at him from head to toe. His pockets were even cleaner than his face. Don't you have many passports in your bag? Just give me one, Xiao Fei said casually as he chewed his gum. You? Lu Yan was defeated by him. Of course, she had several passports in her bag. She often disguised herself to avoid enemies and sometimes pretended to be a man, so she had many passports with her. Xiao Fei knew her well. Xiao Fei, I'm not kidding. This isn't a game. It's not too late for you to go back now. Lu Yan tried to persuade him seriously. Yan, you're smart. You should know that my father is never easy to talk to. After what happened just now, do you think he'll forgive me if I go back now? Xiao Fei chuckled. Chapter 2434. You're his son, okay? Even a vicious tiger won't eat its cubs. Plus, it's not a big mistake. You haven't left Moscow yet, right? Your father loves you the most. Go back and apologize to him. Don't mess around with me. Lu Yan tried to persuade him calmly. Apologize? Are you kidding me? What did I do wrong? Okay, let's go to Mauritius. I heard the weather there is nice, and there are a lot of wild animals. Before Lu Yan could say anything, Xiao Fei pushed her toward the international flight lane. Xiao Fei, you're not going on a vacation. You're going on a run with me. Do you understand? You know I have a lot of enemies. Maybe as soon as we land, we'll be shot dead on the streets. Lu Yan looked serious. I know. So, you're not afraid of death? Lu Yan tried to calm herself down and reconfirm Xiao Fei's feelings. Yan, I'm not good at sweet talk, so I'll only say it once. Listen carefully. I won't let you run away alone and face so many dangers and assassinations. I'm willing to wander around with you. At worst, we'll die. People don't live forever anyway. So what does it matter when we die? Xiao Fei said casually. But Lu Yan's heart was in turmoil. She had never thought that there would actually be someone who was willing to accompany her, to live such a hellish life together with her. Lu Yin, who was always as strong as iron, had tears in her eyes. What's with that expression? Are you touched? Xiao Fei was not used to seeing Lu Yin so serious, so he teased her. Psycho Xiao, do you really have to be like this? You know how hard it has been for me all these years. I've been holding back my longing and didn't dare to look for my sister because I didn't want to disturb her peaceful life. To me, being an ordinary person is the greatest happiness. You're not an ordinary person, but as the young master, you have the support of your family and have never had to worry about food and clothing. You're different from me. I can lose my head at any moment, so you won't be happy with me, Lu Yin said in a choked voice. There are many definitions of happiness. To me, being able to be with you is the greatest happiness. Yin, from now on, we are one. If we live together. If we die together. However, the problem we are facing now is I have nothing with me. I have no money. I am no longer the young master, and I have no power to protect me. So, do you want to have a husband who lives off you by your side? Xiao Fei cracked a joke, which was rare of him. Lu Yan's tears turned into laughter. Hurry up and answer me. I've already given you my whole life. Can't you give me a response? Xiao Fei asked. Don't worry. I don't dare to say anything else, but I have money. I can't spend it all on my next life. Let's go, I'll take care of you. You'll have meat to eat and wine to drink. Most importantly, life is very exciting, and violence will happen all the time, Lu Yin joked with him. Seeing her in a better mood, Xiao Fei put his arm around her shoulders. So, let's go, I want to go first class. Xiao Fei, who usually looked cold, was very likable when he was acting cute. Lu Yin knew he had made up his mind, so she didn't argue with him. The two took their fake passports and left Moscow in a hurry. Inside the Qiao Manor, Master, the three young masters have left Moscow and are on a plane to Mauritius. A subordinate reported. Hearing this, Xiao Fei's father kicked over the table, his face livid. Chapter 2435. He is no longer the third young master. Our Qiao family no longer has such a disappointing son. Xiao Fei's father scolded angrily. Xiao Nin smiled proudly. He had planned to get rid of Xiao Fei one step at a time. He didn't expect that Xiao Fei would betray his family for that woman and anger his father. What a pleasant surprise. After comforting his father for a while, Xiao Nin walked out. His confidant immediately came forward and lowered his voice. Master, should we send someone to attack them in Mauritius? Isn't this a good opportunity? There's no need for that. Not to mention the fact that the people we send may not succeed. Just the people outside who are chasing after them are enough to make them suffer. So we just have to watch the show. If we rush for success now and leave any evidence behind, wouldn't we be shooting ourselves in the foot? After the incident where Xiao Fei was shot last time, Xiao had become more cautious. It wasn't easy to achieve today's situation, and it was so beneficial to him. Why would he do something that could easily make people talk about him? Okay, Master. Then we won't make any moves, and we'll report their whereabouts to you. Inside a hotel in Los Angeles, United States. Ning, are we going to stay in this hotel forever? It's so expensive. Why don't you come back to China with me? There are a lot of empty villas at home. Tang Chuan looked at Qin Ning with a smile. Since Qin Ning quarreled with her father, the two had been staying in a 5-star hotel. Qin Ning booked a suite. They each had their own room, and there were bodyguards outside to protect them in shifts. So, even if Tang Chuan couldn't resist, he really couldn't do anything more intimate with Qin Ning. It was early in the morning, and he didn't have to go to work. It was such a boring weekend. Tang Chuan, who liked to sleep in, woke up early. After taking a shower, he put on a bathrobe and went to Qin Ning's room to talk about returning to China. What? It's only been a few days, and you're already wavering? Qin Ning stared at Tang Chuan. I'm just bored. You're in a cold war with your father now, and he doesn't want you to interfere too much with the company. You can't do much at the company except drink tea and read the newspaper every day. I feel sorry for you. Why don't we surrender? I'll become an American citizen. Tang Chuan suggested again. Can you not be so spineless? Qi Ning looked at him speechlessly. For the sake of my wife, I can lose my backbone. I've always been a man who understands the big picture. Tang Chuan walked over with a grin. He lay down beside her, and the two of them were face to face. They were extremely close. It made Qi Ning feel quite awkward. Tang Chuan, what do you want to do? Qi Ning blinked shyly. What else can I do? I'm satisfied with hugging you like this. What else? Last time, I couldn't help but press you against the wall. Someone screamed, and the bodyguards immediately came in. Did you think I did something to you? It made everyone feel awkward. Tang Chuan blushed with shame. It's good that you know. Behave yourself. Qi Ning pursed her lips and smiled. Wife, I've been very obedient, okay? I've been so obedient eating and drinking with you here. I've never left your side. Shouldn't you give me some benefits? Otherwise, I'll be so pitiful. Tang Chuan pouted. Qi Ning leaned over and kissed him gently on the corner of his mouth. Damn, I'm so disappointed. That's it. Tang Chuan didn't seem very satisfied and looked like he wanted more. Chapter 2436. What else do you want? Don't push your luck, okay? Qi Ning laughed out of anger. You're so insincere. I've spent so much time with you. I ran away from home just to be with you. I can't get used to hamburgers and cola, but I can't help it. I can't help but have no friends. Tang Chuan made it sound like he was wronged. Oh, is someone complaining? Qi Ning was amused. Don't try to change the subject. I'm not complaining. I just think you're not sweet enough. Although Qi Ning said that, she still moved closer to him. She wrapped her arms around Tang Chuan's neck and steadied him. This time, Tang Chuan took the opportunity to pull Qi Ning into his arms and respond passionately. The two kissed passionately. Suddenly, the bodyguard burst into the room. Miss Qi Ning, your father. The bodyguard didn't even finish his sentence before he stopped. After all, he didn't expect to see such an erotic scene. Fuck, why is it you again? Why did you come in here for no reason? Do I have a grudge against you? Tang Chuan turned around and looked at the bodyguard. He had the urge to kill him. Miss Qi Ning, your father is here. The bodyguard stammered. Huh? Where? Qi Ning suddenly stood up and awkwardly pushed Tang Chuan away. He's at the door. The bodyguard pointed. At this time, before the bodyguard could say anything, Qi Ning's father strode into the room. He didn't expect to see such a scene. Tang Chuan's bathrobe was wide open, revealing a large portion of his chest. He was sitting on Qi Ning's bed. Qi Ning was wearing a silk nightgown. Her hair was messy and her cheeks were flushed. Daddy, why are you here? Qi Ning asked embarrassedly. Qi Ning's father looked at the two of them and his face immediately darkened. In order to fight against me, you two would rather stay in a hotel than go home? He asked. Neither of them answered. Then you two spend all day together, but you don't talk about marriage. Are you waiting for a shotgun wedding? Qi Ning's father asked. Daddy, it's not like that. You misunderstood. Qi Ning hurriedly tried to explain. Tang Chuan took over the conversation, got off the bed, and said with a smile, Uncle, you can understand it that way, so you don't have to force the two of us. Otherwise, when your grandson is born, and the two of us are still not married because of you, then wouldn't the child be unregistered? How pitiful. You dare? If that's the case, I'll chop you up first. Qi Ning's father's face darkened. Tang Chuan, Daddy, anyway, don't even think about becoming a citizen. Tang Chuan has already agreed to marry into our family. Because of me. It's already hard enough for him to bear the blame and fall out with his family. We can't continue to force him. I won't let Tang Chuan do something against his will just to marry me. The Tang family has a century-old ancestral temple in China. Do you know how serious this kind of behavior is for him? All these years in the States, I thought you were a democratic person. I didn't expect you to have such a stubborn and domineering side. My brother supports me on this matter as well. If you don't believe me, you can call him and ask him. So, whether you remove me from my position as a director of the company or don't give me any money, I can't agree to your rude request. Qi Ning seemed like she was going to fight a long battle with her father. In short, Her attitude was very firm and didn't give her father a chance to speak. Chapter 24:37. Qi Ning's father looked at his daughter and finally sighed. Let's put your nationality aside for now. The most important thing right now is for you two to get married in America. Our company's new product will be on the market next month. If you get married before then, it'll be very beneficial. It'll drive the stock market up a lot, so I'll make sure the wedding is grand. However, Ning and I are Catholic, so this kid has to become a Catholic. Then, we'll hold the wedding in a church. I'll ask Lyle to officiate the ceremony for you. Catholic? Tang Chuan was dumbfounded again. This father-in-law of his really had a lot of things to do. What do you think? That shouldn't be a problem, right? Qi Ning's father looked at Tang Chuan and asked with a straight face. Daddy, you said you wouldn't force me. Why are you still here? Qi Ning was furious at her father. Religion isn't too much of a problem, is it? Qi Ning's father didn't think it was inappropriate. Uncle, what's the original plan? Becoming a Catholic isn't a big deal, and it's not a problem because I'm an atheist. However, my mother has been a Buddhist for many years, and we have a Buddhist statue at home. I've been influenced by her since I was young, and I'm more or less closer to Buddhism. I'm really not used to it, huh? Tang Chuan explained with a smile. You keep saying you love our Ning, but you're always looking for excuses. You little brat, I don't think you want to marry my daughter on purpose. You're toying with her feelings, aren't you? Qi Ning's father was a little angry. Daddy, I'm old enough to know who's lying to me and who's sincere. You shouldn't interfere with my business, okay? Qi Ning suddenly felt very tired. Ning, I'm doing this for your own good. Your mother passed away when you were young, so I had to be both a father and a mother. I had to raise you and take care of the company. You know how much I've loved you over the years. No father would harm his own child. Now that you're all grown up, you think I'm old and confused, so you don't want to listen to me anymore, right? Qi Ning's father looked at his daughter sadly. Qi Ning's heart ached when she heard her father's words. It wasn't easy for the father and daughter to rely on each other for survival all these years. No matter how much money they had, there were many things that money couldn't buy. Although her father had some close female friends because of her, they were all his girlfriends. No woman had ever entered the Qin family. He was afraid that Qi Ning would feel uncomfortable. He had to admit that he had sacrificed a lot for her. That's all I have to say. You two can think about it yourselves. In the end, Qi Ning's father left sadly. Qi Ning's mood instantly soured. Ning, don't be sad. I'll become a Catholic as long as we can get married. Tang Chuan squatted down and put his hands on her thighs to comfort her. It has nothing to do with you. I'm the one who's upset. Big brother called me yesterday and told me that your mother went to his company. They didn't have a good conversation. I know you've done a lot for me. You can't always listen to Daddy. Qi Ning explained patiently. No, to me, as long as I can marry you, everything else is just a small matter. Tang Chuan reached out and held her hand. South Hill Manor, sis, what's wrong with you? You talk less and less. Is something on your mind? After lunch, Little Bean looked at her sister and asked, I'm thinking about something. Pudding leaned against the window and looked outside with a serious expression. What is it? Why are you so worried? Little Bean was curious. She tilted her head and continued to ask her sister. Chapter 24:38. Haven't you noticed that handsome Sue hasn't been coming to see us lately? Pudding said listlessly. Oh, I thought it was something serious. Sis, you're overthinking it. Handsome Sue is probably busy lately. He's been treating us like his own since we were born. How could he suddenly leave us out? Little Bean thought that her sister's idea wasn't very reliable. I didn't say that Handsome Sue ignored us, okay? What I meant was, is it possible that Handsome Sue is in a bad mood lately? Think about it. When Uncle Tang was at home, he could still hang out with him for a drink or something. Now, that Uncle Tang has been kidnapped by Auntie and gone to the States, and Uncle Wei has a family. Handsome Sue is alone and has nothing to do after work. Pudding felt bad for Suyu. The twins loved this man as much as they loved him, second only to Qin Chu. Now that you mention it, I kind of understand. How about we call him? I'll call him later and ask him to pick us up. Do you want us to accompany him? Little Bean asked, blinking her big eyes. It's no use. No matter how much we accompany him, we can't make up for his loneliness. After all, we're just children in his eyes. We can only give him the feeling of family. You're saying that handsome Sue needs love? Pudding finally understood. Yes, he does. I think that in a person's life, family, friendship, and love are all indispensable. Otherwise, it would be an imperfect life and there would be regrets. Pudding sighed softly. Sis, you're only 3 years old. How can you talk about life with me? Pudding was speechless. Every time her sister talked about such profound topics, the twins were getting less and less in sync. Twins? What happened to the tacit understanding? After Pudding expressed that she wasn't interested in her sister's topic, she turned around and left. Then, she sneaked into her room and video called Suyu. It was almost time to get off work, and Suyu was about to pack up and leave. Little Bean. Suyu smiled as he looked at the toddler sitting across from him. Handsome Sue, what are you doing? Getting ready to get off work. What are you going to do after work? Pudding asked. Go home. Maybe. Suyu thought for a moment and answered. No dates recently? No. Ever since Tang Chuan, that guy who values women over friends, disappeared without a trace, I've become a loner. Suyu sneered. Poor thing. Do you want me and my sister to accompany you? Little Bean smiled sweetly. It's okay. You two don't have to worry about me. I'm a grown man. I'm pretty tired from the first half of the day, so I'll go to bed after I shower. If you're hungry, you can ask someone to cook for you or deliver food. Suyu politely declined with a smile. Don't you miss me? Little Bean began to act cute. I do. Don't I send you guys WeChat messages every day? Suyu coaxed. But I haven't seen you for the past few days. I don't care, I want ice cream. Little Bean continued. How about ice cream? Suyu was a little embarrassed. Why? Handsome Sue, don't you love me anymore? Little Bean pouted. No, the problem is, your mommy told me not to take you to eat desserts. She said she wants to control your weight. You're more than 4 pounds heavier than Pudding, right? Little Bean, I'm still young. I don't need to maintain my figure. My mommy is too nervous and always tells you what to do. You don't have to listen to her. Little Bean said with a straight face. Really? If you don't listen to me, who are you going to listen to? Humin had just come back from work. When he went upstairs to change, he passed by his daughter's room and heard her talking loudly. He didn't expect to catch her red-handed. Chapter 2439. Mommy, why didn't you knock before coming in? You're so rude. Little Bean was embarrassed. I'm rude? Even if I'm rude, I won't talk bad about Mommy behind her back like some other babies. Humin couldn't help but laugh. I was just joking with Handsome Sue. Ha! How could I talk bad about Mommy? She's the most beautiful woman in the world. She's smart, gentle, kind, and considerate. Little Bean had always been good at flattery. Stop, stop. Humin raised his hand and gestured for Little Bean to stop. Little Bean immediately shut up. In this family, Humin was the absolute authority. Even Chu had to give in to him. Little Bean didn't dare to mess with her mommy, so she stood there obediently and didn't dare to speak. Humin walked over and picked up his phone. He glanced at Suyu, who was sitting across from him. Little Bean immediately felt awkward. Ahem, she's video chatting with you, yeah. Who else? Who do you think Galbui Yuan is? Suyu joked. Little Bean immediately became angry. Handsome Sue, don't sell me out. I'm just joking. Suyu laughed. I can't even joke. What? Little Bean was getting more and more embarrassed to talk about her and Galbui Yuan. You're still at work? Humin looked at Suyu's office behind him. Yeah, I'm just about to get off work. Okay, hurry up and go home. Otherwise, there will be a traffic jam during rush hour. When I came back, I saw that Hushy Road was full of cars from north to south. Humin reminded him. Okay, I'm hanging up. Suyu nodded. Bye. Bye. After the two said goodbye, Humin hung up the video call for Little Bean and put the phone on the bedside table. Little Bean, you can't video chat with Uncle Suyu. He's busy sometimes. You could do it on weekends or at night. Okay, Mommy. Little Bean nodded obediently. Good girl. Mommy's going to get changed. Huamin patted Little Bean's head lovingly. Mommy, Little Bean suddenly said. Yeah? Mommy, don't you think that handsome Sue is pitiful? Little Bean asked innocently. Pitiful? Why would you think that? What's so pitiful about Uncle Sue? Huamian was curious about Little Bean's sudden question. Look, every time you guys get together, it's always one-on-one. Even Uncle Jishin is wooing Auntie Bella. Handsome Sue is the only one who's always alone. He doesn't fit in with you guys, and he's even tortured by your public displays of affection from time to time. I think it's so unfair. On Valentine's Day, Daddy prepared a sea of flowers for Mommy. It was so romantic. All the women in the city were jealous. My sister and I wanted to go with Handsome Sue, but Handsome Sue didn't let us go. I think he must be very uncomfortable being alone on a day like that. So, what are you trying to say, Little Bean? Huamin was slightly touched by his daughter's words. So, Mommy, can you think of a way to help Handsome Sue find a girlfriend? Little Bean asked. Me? Help Sue find a girlfriend? Huamin didn't know what to say. She didn't know anyone, and even if she did, Sue wouldn't agree. Would he be willing to accept a girlfriend she introduced him? Mommy, you don't want to? You don't want Handsome Sue to find someone he likes? Little Bean asked seriously. Chapter 2440. Of course not. How can you think that way? Huamin almost rolled her eyes. Was she that kind of person? She always thought that no one in the world wanted Suyu to be happy more than she did. But the problem was, would Suyu appreciate it? If Huamian took the initiative to introduce someone to him, would he reject it? Or would he get angry? None of these things could be predicted. Then, Mommy, you should help Handsome Sue find someone. Mommy, you're so smart and have a good eye for people. Your friends like Annie Slightly, Annie Lingling, Annie Cece, Annie Jia, and Annie Bella are all so outstanding. If you meet a good girl in the hospital, remember to keep an eye out for Handsome Sue, okay? Little Bean tried to persuade Huamin. Of course. I'm just afraid that he'll. Forget it. Seriously, why am I talking nonsense with a 3-year-old like you? Seriously. After speaking, Huamin put her hand on her forehead and left. He almost fell for Little Bean's trick. She was just a kid. She was still happily talking nonsense with her. Suyu finding a girlfriend was a big deal. It wasn't something that the mother and daughter could decide at home. Downstairs, Qin Shu and his eldest daughter, Pudding, were also in a heated conversation. Pudding, Daddy, I still want to buy the whole corporation's shares. Qin Shu, although the money laundering crisis was resolved, the whole corporation won't be peaceful. You should wait and see. Pudding, no, I mean when the next crisis happens and the stock price drops to the lowest point, I'll buy more. Qin Shu, and then, Pudding, maybe after the whole corporation collapses and the shares are divided, I can take advantage of the situation and get some of the shares. Of course, this is just my personal opinion. Qin Shu, are you interested in the whole corporation? Pudding, no, not interested. Qin Shu, then what's the point of doing this? Just to make money? Qin Shu couldn't figure out what his daughter was thinking. Pudding, although I'm not interested in the whole corporation, it used to belong to Mommy's family. I'm willing to help her get it back. Don't forget that Mommy's last name is also Hua. Qin Shu came to a sudden realization and smiled. Your mommy won't be interested. If she was, she wouldn't have given it up in the first place. She's never liked the Hua family. Pudding, even so, we can't let the Hua Siqian take over the Hua corporation. Qin Shu, your way of doing things is quite fresh. Daddy supports you. As an individual buyer, you won't arouse any suspicion. But you can't buy too much, no more than 10 million. Pudding, I know, Daddy. I'll be careful. Qin Shu, do you have enough money? Shall I transfer some to you? Pudding, no, I have enough money. I'll tell Daddy when I need it. Qin Shu, well done. It seems that the family business will depend on you from now on. I can't count on Little Bean. Qin Shu smiled and sighed with emotion. Pudding, no, I'm not interested. When I grow up, I don't want to run a business. Qin Shu was slightly surprised. Then what do you want to do? My wish is, forget it. It's useless to say it now. Daddy will know in the future. As for the family business, I think we might have a younger brother in the future, so don't worry. The Qin family will have a successor. Pudding said meaningfully as she patted her daddy's shoulder. Qin Shu didn't know whether to laugh or cry. It seemed that his daughters not only supported the idea of having a second child, but they also put it on the agenda. Hua Manor, boss, bad news. Something big happened at the company. Hua Xiqian's subordinate rushed in to report. Chapter 2441. What's the matter? Why are you in such a panic? Hua Xiqian was in a bad mood. Nothing good seemed to have happened recently. The bridge we were working on with Donglin Real Estate just collapsed. Hua Xiqian couldn't sit still when he heard this. He stood up immediately and asked, "What did you say?" The news just came in. It said that the incident has attracted the attention of the higher-ups. The media is there, and Mayor Yin will probably go to the scene later. Are there any casualties? Hua Xiqian's expression was terrible. I'm not sure yet, but the bridge was just completed last month and hasn't been officially opened yet. There shouldn't be many cars going through it, so there shouldn't be many casualties. It's just that it's not good for the media. They're saying that our project is shoddy. Hua Xiqian's subordinate stammered. How did this happen? What about Donglin? Is there any movement? Hua Xiqian asked with a frown. After all, it was a collaboration between two companies. President Wang of Donglin was the brother-in-law of a high-ranking official, so he had a lot of connections. Back then, he tried his best to convince Hua Xiqian to work with him. Hua Xiqian didn't want to make money. He just wanted to give him face. Therefore, he made a symbolic investment. He didn't expect the media to spread the news, and everyone knew that he had something to do with the bridge. Now that something had happened, he couldn't get away with it. President Wang of Donglin has turned off his phone. I asked the people in his company, but they said they couldn't reach him. He turned off his phone? That bastard ran away so fast. What the hell? Hua Xiqian tried to suppress his anger. Boss, I think there's someone pulling the strings behind the scenes. Otherwise, it wouldn't be so coincidental. Of all the times it happened when the higher-ups from the province came for an inspection, his subordinate reminded him. I don't need you to tell me that. You don't even need to think to know. So many things have happened recently. It seems like my enemies can't wait any longer and want to kill me. Huh. Hua Xiqian laughed self-deprecatingly. Boss, didn't we find out that Shun Mingxi had something to do with what happened last time? This time, it might be him again. Why don't we teach him a lesson? If this goes on, do you really think you're easy to bully? No, I don't have the time to play such childish games with him. I only have a month left. I have more important things to do. Hua Xiqian pondered for a moment before speaking slowly. But boss, what should we do about the matter at hand? No matter who asks, just push the blame to Donglin. Just say that we were only in charge of getting the money and didn't care about anything else. Donglin's CEO, Wang, was in charge of everything. Luckily, I held back. Otherwise, I would have been screwed over by this idiot. Hua Xiqian was impressed by his own wit. If he hadn't been on guard against this good-for-nothing, he wouldn't have been able to do so. He didn't put in any effort on the bridge, nor did he send people from his company to monitor it. Other than taking more than 10 million yuan as investment, there was nothing else for him to do. Now that he thought about it, it could be considered as an explanation. Okay, boss, I'll go tell them now. After his subordinate left, Hua Xiqian rubbed his temples. He was in a bad mood. Recently, he didn't take any medicine. Instead, he drank hard liquor and fell into a deep sleep. Ian gave him a lot of pressure. It was something that ordinary people couldn't understand. As for Hua Mian, it seemed like she would have to make a decision sooner or later. Southside Recuperation Center. Vice Director, there's a Miss Nya at the door who wants to see you. The nurse on duty at the door informed him. Miss Nya. Huamin froze for a moment before nodding. Let her in. Huamin thought it might be one of his former patients. To his surprise, the person who came in was the famous actress, Nya Lingxian. Chapter 2442. Dr. Hua, am I bothering you? Nie Lingxian asked with a gentle smile. No, please have a seat, Miss Nie. Although surprised, Huamin still welcomed the woman in a friendly manner. Huamin knew she was Cece's older sister, and they looked very similar. Let me introduce myself. I'm Nie Lingxian, Cece's older sister. She introduced herself as expected. Yeah, Cece told me about you, and I've seen you on TV many times. You look very much like Cece, Huamin said with a smile. Everyone says the same thing. My sister. She always talks about you in front of me and treats you like an idol. She always says you're good to her, so I've been wondering when I'll have the chance to meet you, the legendary big shot. You flatter me. Cece and I are good friends. Miss Nya, you don't have to be so polite with me. Huamin wasn't used to being complimented right off the bat. I didn't know what to buy when I came, so I brought a bouquet of lilies. Nie Lingxian put the bouquet of flowers on Huamin's desk. Thank you, Miss Nya. Dr. Hua, I'm here today for two things. First, I want you to do a checkup for me. Nie Lingxian didn't want to beat around the bush when she saw Huamin was so easygoing. Checkup? What do you mean? If you want a full-body checkup, I can arrange it for you. No, I want to do a mental checkup. I think I have mania. Mania? Huamin was slightly surprised. You should know that I'm an artist, and I've been in Imperial Star Entertainment for a few years. I used to have big names like Zhao, Qingya, and Jiantong, so I wasn't very popular. I was always a C-list actress in a supporting role. Although I wasn't very popular, I was very satisfied. I had a fixed fan base, and I had a lot of free time. When I was free, I could go shopping and drink tea with 3 to 5 friends, and the salary wasn't bad. But now, I've suddenly become an A-list actress. Not to mention the heavy workload, Mr. Su took good care of me and didn't make me take too many jobs. It's just that I can't adjust my mentality. People dug up my past, and now my words and actions are infinitely magnified by the paparazzi. I'm very nervous right now, and I'm very scared. My heart is always hanging in the air, and I'm always afraid that I'll make a mistake. Also, I don't like the look of things, and I always want to get angry. I think it's because I can't handle stress well. I heard that you're a very authoritative doctor in neurology. Although you're not a psychologist, I still believe that you'll help me. Nie Lingxian told Huamin about her recent symptoms, and Huamin got the gist of it. Facing the sudden rise in popularity, her worries came one after another. This girl couldn't withstand stress, so she thought too much and put pressure on herself. Then, she became depressed. How long have you been like this? Huamin turned on the computer and asked as he typed in the information. About half a month. It's getting worse and worse, and it's seriously affecting my sleep. I'm not interested in anything now. My parents are taking care of me, and I want to lose my temper whenever I don't agree with them. I know it's wrong, but I can't control myself. My agent keeps telling me to pretend in front of fans. I'm really tired. Speaking of this, Nie Lingxian took out a box of cigarettes from her handbag. Do you mind if I smoke? She took out a cigarette and asked Huamin. It was obvious that she was really annoyed. Chapter 2443. I don't mind. Go ahead. Huamin also smoked when he was sad, so he understood her feelings. Thank you for listening to my nagging, Dr. He. Nie Lingxian took a puff and exhaled faintly. Don't mention it. I'm patient with every patient. It's my job. Dr. Hua, I don't know if you can help me with the second thing. It's a selfish thought. I hesitated for a long time before coming to you. Nie Lingxian looked at Huamin with a complicated expression. Tell me. Huamin looked at her calmly. I know you're President Su's favorite. Nie Lingxian said. So, Huamian didn't know what the latter half of her sentence meant. So, can I ask you to teach me how to make President Su fall in love with me? Just a little bit. Her eyes revealed the shyness of a little girl. Huamin was shocked. This was another girl who was charmed by Suyu. Lord Su's charm was not to be underestimated. Huamin didn't know how to answer. Dr. Hua, is my request difficult for you? I don't know what's wrong with me, but every time I see President Su, I feel very nervous. My face blushes and my heart is racing. It's not easy for me to fall in love with a man at my age, so I don't want to give up so easily. That's why I came to ask for your advice. Please don't misunderstand or think too much. I'm different from Jian Tong. I'm not a scheming bitch. Niao Lingxian was afraid that Huamin would think too much, so she explained a lot. Huamin understood the gist of it. Niao Lingxian was trying to tell him that she really liked Su Yu and wanted him to help her. She didn't want to court death like Jian Tong and Zhao Qingya. She also wanted Huamin to not be hostile to her. Looking at her face that resembled Cece's, Huamin believed that she was a kind girl and wouldn't be like Jian Tong and the others. But when it came to Su Yu, there wasn't much she could do to help. Miss Nya, I understand what you mean. I'm good friends with Su Yu. If it was something else, I could help, but it's not my place to get involved in personal matters. Love is about mutual affection. If you're an artist from Imperial Star, you should know Su Yu's temper. As a friend, I don't want to interfere, Huamin said tactfully. Niao Lingxian nodded. I understand what you mean, Dr. Hua. I'm not asking you to set me up with President Su. What I mean is, can you tell me what kind of girl President Su likes? At least give me a hint so I can know what to do in the future. Huamin sighed slightly and replied, You just said that love doesn't make sense. Some people may look ordinary and not be that good, but some people will treat them as their life. Some people think they're very good, but they just haven't found the right person for them. So even if I tell you what kind of girl Su Yu likes, you might not be able to win his heart. Only people who don't care about their other half will set restrictions on their other half. If they really love someone, they won't care so much. But I can tell you one thing. The girl Su Yu likes must have at least one thing. Huamin wanted to say something, but stopped on second thought. What is it? Niao Lingxian asked nervously. Chapter 2444. Please enter a brave and kind heart, Huamin said firmly. Niao Lingxian was slightly surprised. Then she smiled and said, Dr. Hua, you're a wise man. I've learned a lot. I'm not trying to trick you. I mean it. Su Yu has a bad temper, and people think he's arrogant and overbearing. However, he's actually very kind. If you get to know him better, you'll find that he has many good qualities. A man like him likes a woman with good character, Huamin analyzed. Okay, I understand. Anyway, thank you for telling me so much, Dr. Hua. You're welcome. It's fate that you found me. Also, I need to do a detailed analysis of your condition. How about this? If you have time, go and fill out a few questionnaires to test your current state of mind. Then I'll see what treatment plan you need. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Hua. It's no trouble. Oh, Cece keeps in touch with your family, right? Huamin asked. Yes. My sister seems to be doing well in the States. My parents are reluctant to let her go, but they understand that she's pursuing her own happiness. Her temper is actually quite similar to mine. Sometimes we're both stubborn. Otherwise, she wouldn't be alone after studying abroad for more than 3 years. I understand. Cece is also a good girl. Her boyfriend will take good care of her. Huamin smiled. After Niao Lingxian left, Huamin continued to work. Her days in the hospital were always fulfilling, but she was very happy. Becoming a doctor was her biggest wish, especially when she found out her real identity. She heard that her father, Professor Liu, and her biological mother were both outstanding medical experts. She was very proud of herself. After working for the whole afternoon, there were only 10 minutes left before she got off work. Huamin picked up her phone and was about to make a call when she received a WeChat message. It was from Han Su, the class representative who hadn't contacted Huamin in a long time. Han Su, Huamin, are you there? Huamin, class rep, I'm here. Go ahead. Han Su, well, we're going to organize a class reunion. I hope you and Qinshu can come. Huamin, class reunion. To be honest, Huamin hesitated slightly when he heard the words class reunion again. After all, they hadn't contacted each other for a long time, and among those classmates, there weren't many who were on good terms with her. Zhu Lingling was the best, and they met often in private. Therefore, Huamin had no interest in such a gathering. Just as she was thinking about how to refuse, the class leader continued. Han Su, ever since you and Qin Shu got married, you've been on a meteoric rise. Haha, no one dares to disturb you guys. After all, you're not in the same social circle. I heard you're the deputy director of Southside now, so I know it's not easy to invite you guys. If it weren't for Lu Zhe's return, I wouldn't have called you. My classmates even joked that you guys wouldn't show up, even if I was the class representative. Haha, class rep? Don't say that. We're actually, Han Su's words made Huamin hesitant. It's really fine, Huamin. I won't make it difficult for you. It's okay if you don't come. However, as the class representative, it's my responsibility to organize a class reunion. I'm sincerely inviting you guys. Of course, you're all famous people now, so you're very busy. Of course, I know that you guys are busy. Han Su was very good at dealing with people, so his words were very tactful. His words directly put Huamin in a dilemma. If she went, she really didn't want to go. If she didn't go, she would be disrespecting the class representative. In the words of those classmates, she would be ignoring her classmates because she was rich. Lu Zhe kept emphasizing that he really wants to see you and asked me to invite you. Han Su added. Chapter 2445. Lu Zhe. The name sounded familiar to Huamian, but she couldn't remember who it was. It seemed so distant. I knew you'd forget. He used to be called Lu Haotian in our class, but he changed his name to Lu Zhe. His father used to be the deputy director of the Education Bureau. Han Su reminded him. Oh, it's him. Huamian vaguely remembered. Yeah, it's understandable that you don't remember him well. He transferred here in his second year of high school and stayed for less than a semester before transferring again. That's why a lot of students don't remember him. But he's doing pretty well now. I heard that he studied medicine and got his doctorate at Cambridge. I heard that he's working at a medical research institute overseas and has developed a lot of drugs. He's very good. Really? Huamin was never interested in people he didn't know well. Therefore, even though Han Su was talking about him enthusiastically, Huamin's reaction was still cold. Yeah, he remembers you very well. He said that you're a rare genius in our school. We met a few days ago and talked about you. When he heard that you're working at Southside, he wanted to meet you even more. That's why he kept asking me to invite you. I see. Is the time fixed? I want to see if I have any surgeries, Huamin asked. 6 o'clock this Saturday night at the Crystal Clear Water Pavilion above Nanyang Restaurant, Han Su replied. Huamin flipped through the calendar on his desk. Okay, I got it. I don't have any surgeries that day, and I'm not on duty. I'll go, but my husband might not be free. You know, our 2 kids are quite noisy. I understand. I'll be happy if one of you can come. Really, thank you. Han Su seemed to be very satisfied with the result. When they got home from work, the twins and their grandparents were strolling in the backyard. Huamin mentioned this to Qin Shu. I really envy those people. They seem to have nothing to do and gather every day. They're really free, Qin Shu said faintly. Huh, how many people are as busy as us? We are rare workaholics, okay? If you want to go, then go. I'm not going. I've booked a figure skating coach for Pudding and Little Bean this weekend. I plan to take them to the skating rink. Fine. You really are a father? You only have eyes for your daughter. Huamin lowered his head and ate quietly. Is someone jealous again? Qin Shu looked at her with amusement. This lowly concubine doesn't dare. Huamin pursed her lips, looking aggrieved. Then why do I feel like someone is filled with resentment? Qin Shu purposely lowered his head and asked. There's nothing I can do, even if I'm filled with resentment. Who told my husband to be a slave to his daughter? Okay, in order to make you feel like you're being left out, I've decided. Qin Shu paused at this point. What's your decision? Huamin looked at Mr. Qin curiously. I've decided to unlock a few new positions tonight to reward my wife. How can I do that? Husband, you've worked so hard. You work so hard during the day, and you work so hard at night. How can I bear to do that? Huamin looked at him with a smile. It's okay. As long as my wife is happy, I can do whatever I want, Mr. Qin said shamelessly. This guy's a pervert. Identification complete, Huamin scolded with a smile. The next morning, Huamin finished his morning meeting at Southside and was walking back when Chun Jie said in a deep voice, Sis, Huasiqian is here. Where is he? He's waiting in your office. I think he came here just to see you. Do you want me to send him away? Xinjie knew that Huamin hated Huasiqian. Chapter 2446. No need. You might not be able to send him away. Since he's here, he'll definitely find a way to see me. Huamin knew Huasiqian well, so he didn't ask Xinjie to brush him off. Huamin was wearing a white lab coat, glasses, and a black folder in his hand. As the youngest vice director in Sea City, or even in the entire country, she really made a name for herself in the medical field. It was rumored that Jing City's Professor Luo was her master, and many people in the same field were jealous of her. In the past, people at Southside even suspected that she used her husband's money to get to where she was today. After a while, everyone realized that Huamin was really capable. Not only was he the head of the neurology department, but he also assisted his colleagues in the orthopedics department, gynecology department, and brain surgery department. He also managed the entire hospital, which was a lot of work. Hearing the door open, Huasiqian turned around. The moment he saw Huamin, his eyes lit up slightly. "Mian, you're done with your morning meeting? You're quite familiar with my work process," Huamin said faintly. Then, he walked to his desk and sat down. Huasiqian carefully placed a lunchbox in front of her. "Almond pastries from May Temple. They're delicious." "Thank you. If you're here to bring me pastries, you can leave now. I still have a lot of work to do." Huamin asked him to leave. "Mian, when will you stop being so hostile towards me?" Huasiqian smiled helplessly. He no longer wore bright clothes. Instead, he wore dark gray clothes. However, because of his good looks, he was still attractive. Huasiqian was actually quite charming. Otherwise, Imo, Shuer, and Yin Ruashi wouldn't be so loyal to him. Huamin sneered. "Hee, you hurt a person, and then you ask him why he hates you. Isn't that funny? If you're talking about how I caused you to be separated from Qin Shu for 4 years, then I have nothing to say. But I did it all for you." Huasiqian felt wronged. "You keep saying that it's for me, but you hurt me. In this world, what you think is good is not really good. There are too many conflicts between us that can't be resolved and will never be resolved. So, you really won't come to me every day to confess your determination, and I don't have the time to listen." Huamin was now immune to Huasiqian's confession. He was no longer as nervous and awkward as before, nor did he feel flustered. He just felt that it was boring to talk about this matter over and over again. "Mian, you met Ian, right?" "Yes." Both of them were well aware of Ian's intentions. "Then do you know how anxious he is to find you?" "I do, so you can tell him who I am. That way, you'll be able to prove yourself in front of that murderer." "Is that how you think of me?" Huasiqian raised his eyebrows in anger. "What else? How am I supposed to think of you? If I want to tell him, I would have done a long time ago." "Do you think you could have lived so peacefully all these years?" "Mian, you have to have a conscience. In Dongtao Town, other than your father, Professor Liu, there's also me, Huasiqian. All these years, I've been protecting you carefully. Perhaps it was because Ian gave him too much pressure, and he was too worried about Huamin. So, for the first time, the usually cheerful Huasiqian got angry at Huamin. It was the first time he yelled at her. This was something Huamin didn't expect. "So, should I say thank you?" Huamin raised her head coldly and glared at Huasiqian. Chapter 2447. Instead of answering Huamin's question directly, Huasiqian stared in her eyes and asked word by word, "Mian, do you know why Dr. Lan and her family, who helped you deliver your baby, have been missing for a long time?" Huamin didn't speak, but she seemed to have an answer in her heart. "They've already been enough. Stop talking." Before Huasiqian could finish, Huamin interrupted him with a stern expression. Huamin had already guessed the answer, but if he were to say it out loud, she still couldn't accept it. If someone loved you so much that they were perverted and willing to kill to protect you, who would be able to withstand this kind of pressure? No matter how calm and collected Huamin was, she was just a woman with a moral bottom line. "Huasiqian, no matter what you do now, it seems like you want me to take the blame for you, right? I had something to do with Song Yishi's death, Jiang Linyue's death, and even Mo Er's death. Now you're talking about Dr. Lawn. Are you trying to make me feel guilty? Or do you think I should be like you, treating human lives like dirt? That's not what I meant. I just hope you can understand my heart. I've long understood your feelings, and I've already made some things clear to you. Between us, it's impossible, and it's impossible. Just give up. Not to mention that I have Chin Shu now. Even if I didn't have Chin Shu, I still wouldn't be with you, because the man I like has never been someone like you. Someone like me? What am I like? Do you think I want to be like this? Mion, I had no choice. If you understood my entire life and all the pain I suffered when I was young, you would understand me. Huasi Qian smiled bitterly. No, I don't want to understand, and I can't. Plus, this isn't an excuse for you to harm others. Everyone has their own life, and no one's life is smooth sailing. You're not the only one who is pitiful, so don't use this as an excuse. It's meaningless. Anyways, I don't want anything to happen between us. Whether it's business wars or personal grudges between you and my husband, that's your business. Of course, I will always stand by Chin Shu's side unconditionally, and you will always be my enemy. Hua Min's rationality was admirable, but at the same time, it was terrifying, because when she was rational, her words were often the most ruthless. Every time Huasi Qian heard Hua Min say something like this, he felt a dull pain in his heart. He remained silent and looked at Hua Min with his deep eyes. He seemed to have 1,000 words to say, but he didn't know where to start. Don't try to clear your name in front of me. You can't do that. No matter what you do, you won't be able to erase the fact that you wronged Chin Shu and caused us to go to jail. You even separated us for 4 years. Even when I gave birth, he regretted not being by my side. All of this was because of you. So now that you say you love me, I really can't accept it. Maybe you really do love me, but your love is too much for me to accept. Mion, do you really think Chin Shu is a trustworthy person? Of course, Hua Min replied confidently. What if you find out that he's hiding something from you? Will you be sad? Huasi Qian smiled mysteriously. What are you trying to say? Hua Min's face turned cold. Chapter 2448. You look like you really don't know anything. Huasi Qian looked like he was gloating over her misfortune. Hua Min hated the way Huasi Qian looked at him with a slight hint of anger in his eyes. Hurry up and tell me, or get out. I don't have time to chat with you. Mion, don't trust Chin Shu too much. He's not a god. He's just an ordinary man. It's inevitable that he'll make mistakes and disappoint you. I've told you before, I'm the only one in this world who won't betray you. I'm the only one who will love you with my life and soul. You can only be happy with me. Don't even think about it. Hua Min thought Huasi Qian was ridiculous. What if Chin Shu betrayed you? Would you still forgive him if he had another woman? Are you going to be like those weak female celebrities in the entertainment industry, enduring humiliation in the name of protecting your child and your family? Are you going to cherish him? Huasi Qian sneered. Chin Shu, he would never betray me, Hua Min said with certainty. Nothing is absolute in this world. Silly girl, don't trust him too much. He might not be as good as you think. After speaking, Huasi Qian turned around and left without giving Hua Min a chance to speak. Hua Min began to feel uneasy. Huasi Qian seemed to know something. Was it because of what Jixin had mentioned to her before? Was Mr. Qin really hiding something from her? Did he never plan to tell her the truth? No, she couldn't listen to Huasi Qian's attempt to drive a wedge between them. She had to trust Mr. Qin unconditionally. They had known each other since they were young. After all these years of going in circles and going through so much, they were finally together. It wasn't easy. How could she listen to someone else's words so easily? Hua Min kept comforting herself in her heart. However, Huasi Qian's words today left a knot in Hua Min's heart. After work, Hua Min drove straight to GK's headquarters, which he hadn't visited in a long time. President Hua, good evening. Many employees greeted Hua Min when they saw him. She had worked here for 3 years, so everyone was used to calling him President Hua, not a young lady. President Hua, you're here. On the top floor of GK's headquarters, Huamin, Bella just came out of the finance department as his headquarters. Yeah, where's him? CEO Chin went down the site to check on the construction situation with a few engineers. He should be back soon. Okay, then I'll wait in his office. Make me a cup of coffee, Bella. Okay. After Huamin entered the office, she sat down in front of Chin Chu's desk. She rarely searched through his things. However, for some reason, perhaps because of Hua Xiqian's words, she secretly checked all the drawers in Chin Chu's desk. Other than the documents, there were only her photos. She looked exactly the same as before. Chin Chu's computer password was a combination of her birthday and the twins' birthdays. She opened it immediately. Huamin quickly went through all the disks on his computer. She didn't find anything suspicious. President Hua, here's your coffee. Okay, thank you. Huamin took the coffee and carefully took a sip. Then, she glanced at Bella and smiled. Have my husband been busy lately? Who's he been with? President Chin is very busy. He has a lot of meetings every day. He has to meet with investors, business partners, and construction workers. Didn't 3 major projects start construction at the same time? President Chin is taking it seriously. Oh, Huamin nodded. President Hua, are you here to see Chin Chu for something urgent? I'll call him now, so you don't have to wait for too long. It's okay, I'll wait. I don't have anything to do anyway. Bella, can you call Zhixin over for me? I have something to ask him. Chapter 2449. Shortly after Bella left, Zhixin came in. With Chin Chu's guidance, Yang, and Bella's guidance, Zhixin had become a lot more mature. No one thought that President Chin's brother-in-law was just a young master who came in through connections. Half a month ago, during the staff meeting, Jing Zhixin was promoted from a small department manager to the director of operations. He looked more and more like an elite executive. Sis, why are you here? Zhixin walked in wearing a black suit and smiled at Huamin when he saw him. I got off work early today, so I came to see you. What happened? I heard you got promoted. You little brat, you're not doing well. Of course, it's because everyone helped me that I'm where I am today. But I was promoted half a month ago. Sis, you're so slow. Zhixin complained. Huamin, ahem. How are things going between you and Bella? Don't tell me you haven't made progress. I went to her house for dinner last weekend. She cooked for me. Does that count as progress? Zhixin said proudly. So are you guys still together? Huamin smiled helplessly. This silly little brother of his was such a sweet and naive person. He was so conservative even when it came to chasing girls. Take it slow. What's the rush? If I hit her too hard and scare her, we might not even be friends. Okay, you win. Jing Zhixin. Sis, if you don't have anything else to say, I'll go out now. I still have some work to do. Oh, right. Mom said she misses Pudding and Little Bean. If you have time off this week, bring them home. Your in-laws are living at South Hill Manor now, so it's not as convenient for Mom and I to go there, I know. But wait, I have something to ask you. Huamin stopped Zhixin. Okay, ask away, sis. Your brother-in-law, President Chin, has he been acting strangely lately? Huh? Acting strangely? No. Zhixin was confused by his sister's question. He usually works at the company. Does he go out a lot? When he goes out, he's fine, but he doesn't go out alone often. Assistant Yang, or I usually goes with him. Then, have you come into contact with any strangers that you're not familiar with? Brother-in-law only interacts with clients. Of course, I don't know many of them. Do we count as strangers? Zhixin didn't know how to answer. Huamin was a little distracted, as if he was thinking about something. Sis, why do you look like you're interrogating a criminal? Don't tell me. You're suspecting brother-in-law of something? Zhixin looked at his sister curiously. Didn't you tell me that your brother-in-law might have a mistress? Huamin looked at Zhixin half-jokingly. I just happened to overhear a phone call. What if I misunderstood? I don't think brother-in-law is that kind of person. If there's a woman outside, there must be some clues, right? But now, he went home as soon as he got off work. He didn't have any social engagements. How could such a man have the time to find a woman? So sis, don't be so suspicious. Okay, now you're trying to persuade me. That's not what you said before. Humin smiled. Ha, back then, I was doing it for your own good, so of course I had to be careful. But now that I'm at the company with brother-in-law all day, I'm basically monitoring him. Don't worry, if there's anything wrong, I'll report it to you immediately. Okay, go to your work. Okay. After Jixin left, Humin sighed slightly. She wasn't worried that Qin Shu was having a mistress behind her back. She was worried that Qin Shu would be restrained by Huasiqian like last time. He wouldn't let her know, so Humin wanted to ask if Jixin had found anything recently. However, she still didn't get anything. What are you thinking about? Suddenly, a familiar voice came from behind, making Humin jump. Chapter 2450. Oh my God, why didn't you say anything when you came back? You scared me. Humin let out a sigh of relief when she saw it was Qin Shu. I saw you were deep in thought, so I came over to tease you. You got off work early today. Qin Shu chuckled. I had nothing to do, so I came over to check on you. Did you go to the site? Yeah, I had to keep an eye on the shoddy construction projects because of the rumors. I can't let anything go wrong. Are you done now? Let's go home. Mr. Qin, I'm so hungry. Humin threw herself into Qin Shu's arms and whined. Sure, but I don't mind if you eat me first to fill your stomach. Hey, this is the office. Humin said shyly. It's because it's an office that I find it interesting. Qin Shu teased her. I'm not going to tease you. Let's go. The kids are going to be worried. Oh, by the way, are you sure you're not going to the party this week? I'll reply to Han Su's WeChat message later. Humin remembered. Yeah, I'm not going. You and Ling can go and come back after dinner. You don't have to be too close with them. You're not as close as you used to be. I'm worried that someone will take advantage of you. Qin Shu reminded Humin. I know what you mean, honey. Humin nodded and went downstairs to wait for Qin Shu with her car keys. She replied to Han Su's WeChat message. 15 minutes later, Qin Shu came downstairs and the couple went home together. In the blink of an eye, it was the weekend. Qin Shu took the kids to the skating rink. Humin woke up in the morning and drove to pick up Zhu Lingling. She didn't dress up today, just like every other day. She only wore a white shirt and a gray cashmere jacket. She looked elegant and intellectual, which was how Humin saw herself. Zhu Lingling deliberately dressed up. She wore an orange dress with a slit inside and a gold chain around her neck. She wore a luxurious jacket, which showed off her sexy figure. Wow, you're dressed like this. Won't director Gao be jealous? Humian was surprised. No, I told her I had to dress up pretty today. Otherwise, how can I make my ex regretful, my current boyfriend's proud, and make him confess his love for me? Haha, you're a genius. Humian burst into laughter. Why are you so low-key today? You should wear a million-yuan dress to scare them off, so they don't know what to do. Zhu Lingling scolded Humian. I'll pass. It's not a charity party. It's just a class reunion. I'll dress as usual. But you're so beautiful today. I haven't seen you like this since you gave birth to Boyuan. Of course. I don't have time to dress up after becoming a mother. I'm like a nanny, taking care of the father and son as well as the business. It's rare for me to come out for some fresh air. Zhu Lingling told Humin directly last night that he would drive her car today because Humin's car was worth millions and was one of the best among their classmates. Although it was childish, Humin still came to pick her up. He chatted with his best friend as they drove to the small restaurant in Nanyang that Han Su had mentioned. Damn, that purple Ferrari is so cool. It's a limited edition that will be released at the end of this year and costs more than 20 million yuan. Who owns it? Damn, it's so rich, Zhu Lingling exclaimed as she got out of the car and was attracted by the purple Ferrari. Chapter 2451. Mian, why don't you ask Mr. Qin to buy one too? It's so cool. Forget it. Mr. Qin doesn't like high-profile cars. Even Suyu doesn't know how to drive a car like this. Only a kid like Tang Chuan would want to spend money on it. We have 2 babies now, and sports cars are no longer practical. They're only used by rich and handsome men to flirt with girls. We'll have to switch to an RV, a nanny van, or a 7-seater business car. We have parents and children at home. You're right. The two chatted as they walked upstairs. When they reached the door of the private room, Han Su was already waiting for them. Hey, two beauties. You're finally here. Come on. Who's here? Class president? Zhu Lingling asked. Quite a lot. We're just waiting for you two. Come on in. Okay. Zhu Lingling nodded with a smile. Mian, did you both drive here? Han Su looked at Huamin, who was walking behind Zhu Lingling. No, we drove the same car. Is it your R8? Han Su's eyes lit up. Yeah, it's still my R8. Huamin was still low-key. Among the girls in our class, you're the only one with good taste. You're different from those nouveau riche girls who only know how to drive BMWs. They're so old-fashioned. No, I just like this car. I didn't think too much about it. Huamin smiled. Then, the three of them walked in. Perhaps because Zhu Lingling and Huamin were good-looking and had a good life, the moment they entered the room, the atmosphere became lively. Everyone began to shout, You two beauties are late. You'll have to drink as punishment. Come on, 3 glasses each. What? Are you bullying us? Who's late? I'll drink 3 glasses. Show me how you do it. You drink 3 glasses first, and I'll see. Zhu Lingling replied sharply to a male classmate who was shouting at her. Then, Han Su pulled out chairs for them and sat down. Han Su looked around and asked, Where's Lu Zhe? Oh, I just went down to make a call and asked for wine. Young Master Lu's taste is very high, and he said that the wine here is not good, someone replied. Han Su nodded and didn't say anything else. When others took the initiative to greet him, Huamin also smiled politely. Huamin, why isn't your husband here? A chubby female classmate asked. Oh, he's busy today. It's really different when you have money and status. It seems that people don't want to come to such places. A boy interrupted sourly. Huamin did not say anything, but Zhu Lingling was unhappy. She looked at the young man and said, Look at what you're saying. If you said that, Huamin wouldn't have come. Don't think so badly of people. It's your own inferiority complex. Don't talk about money. You're almost 30 years old. When Zhu Lingling finished speaking, the boy's face turned ugly. Han Su quickly tried to smooth things over and said with a smile, See, Sister Lingling is showing her power. Don't bully people who came later. Otherwise, if you make her angry, she'll ask her husband to lock you all up in the police station. While everyone was talking and laughing, the door to the registration room was pushed open. A tall, beastly man walked in. He looked gentle and clean. He wore a white shirt inside and a dark blue knitted sweater outside. It was a very gentlemanly outfit. He was also a very famous international brand. From his clothes and aura, it was obvious that he was a rich and powerful person. Oh, young Master Lu is back. Someone in the crowd shouted. Everyone turned their heads. Huamin also looked up and realized that he didn't recognize him. After all, this person didn't stay in their class for long, so Huamin didn't have much of an impression of him. Lu Zhe, on the other hand, recognized Huamin immediately. Huamin, you look the same as before. Chapter 2452. Really? Huamin still smiled faintly. Young Master Lu, aren't you being a little too picky? When we came in, you couldn't even remember anyone's name, but when it was Huamin's turn, you instantly recognized him. You're too obvious, someone in the group jeered. Our goddess Hua has an IQ of 18. She used to be a famous person in school, so I have a deeper impression of her. Lu Zhe smiled as he returned to his seat. He sat at the head of the table with Han Su next to him. Next to Han Su was Huamin, and Huamin was next to Zhu Lingling. This private room was meant for 20 people, and there were 18 of them in total. It wasn't a lot, but it wasn't a small number either. The strange thing was that Wei Dong wasn't here this time. In the past, he was the most high-profile person, and he was the one who organized all the gatherings and paid the bill. Huh, where's Wei Dong? Zhu Lingling was a gossipy person, so she immediately asked, Don't mention it. Wei Dong is really miserable now, and he even left the group. I think only Han Su is in contact with him. Plus, he's too embarrassed to come now that he's in such a mess. Class rep, did you ask him to come? Didn't you tell him that he didn't have to pay the bill this time? and that it was young Master Lu who arranged it? Someone asked gloatingly. Han Su replied, I told him, but he refused to come. What happened to Wei Dong's family? What happened? Zhu Lingling continued to gossip. Don't you know? Didn't they go bankrupt? It's been more than a year, and all of their houses, cars, and businesses have been used to pay off their debts. I heard that they owe a lot of money. His dad and his third uncle were arrested, and they probably did something illegal. Wei Dong is now selling cars for a 4S store. I saw him at the Automobile Expo at the end of last year, and he's much more low-key now. I heard that his newly married wife ran away with him. They left behind a daughter who's less than 6 months old, and her mother. They're living a poor life now. A busybody briefly recounted what had happened at Wei Dong's house. Most of the people present were gloating over his misfortune. A few girls were even eating melon seeds, treating it as a joke. Huomin suddenly felt that humans were heartless creatures. Back when Wei Dong was rich, he treated everyone well. Every time there was a gathering, he was the one who spent the money. If someone was short on cash and needed 30 to 50,000 yuan, Wei Dong would give it to them. Now that he was down and out, these people couldn't wait to laugh at him. What kind of world was this? Huomin suddenly felt that he shouldn't have come to today's gathering, because these people were no longer her companions who shared a common language. Really? That's tragic. What a pity. Life is full of ups and downs. Zhu Lingling expressed a regret, even though she didn't have a good impression of Wei Dong either. But after all, they were classmates. Hearing that he was in such a miserable state now, she felt quite uncomfortable. By the way, Huomin, didn't Wei Dong chase after you back then? Ha! You're lucky you didn't date him, a girl said sarcastically. Don't mention that. Wei Dong was never Mian's cup of tea, Zhu Lingling replied, domineeringly on behalf of Huomin. Huomin, I heard that you're the vice director of Southside now. Lu Zhe looked at Huomin's handsome side profile with Han Su in between them. Yeah. Huomin nodded, but it was obvious that he wasn't in the mood to chat with him. Then can you introduce me to someone? I want to work at Southside, Lu Zhe said in all seriousness. Everyone was dumbfounded. Huomin was also slightly surprised. Young Master Lu, are you kidding? Don't scare our goddess Hua. Han Su looked at the rich kid beside him and asked, You're tuning into the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.